So we're on page 73, please, in volume 1. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha.
Kedam zi sajin de la gomba dumbe ne wani jidin de la joze zo de de gamba gula chaze damda gunga chogi sasam da ishi gato sege lumbu da taba jidin sumla damda Johnny Gala Chazelo, Dente Demba Jimmy Dawe Che, Dente Gamba Gala Chazelo, Dute Gita Siba Sumachi, Ni Kinjin Gala Chazelo, Wambu Tuji Chidemba, Sona Kimba. Sanam Yinden Gazu Jidin Gila Chazelo Tampe Deja Dewa Gu Gewe Ngesun Letushi Chidu Dundam Jagyu We Shikyu Gila Chazelo Towe Towe Lamyande Laba Dala Rabdune Shingyu Damba Chogudi Shigyu Gila Chazelo Tanam Kinta Chazelo Kinta Gila Chazelo Tempe Jamba Tamtemba Tempam Jamba Pujo Tamdu Jabelam Tamdu Tamde Tamde Tamdu Tamde Tamde Chodo Gebe Chidon Chicha Micha Kewa Bezon Toba Tamde Sene Yon Sodu Dene Sangye Demba Kamara Mameda Kyoma Sema Chedabu Lebon Lada Chedabu Dije Sanam Jagada Sanam Di Nyomne Sevai Bovan Bane Yunye Dadu Kada Nada Shire Laju Ve Sibe Sole Drowa Druba Shu Sa Shi Bege Joji Me Dodam Reza Lingji Ninden Gamba Sangye Jindu Mide Bewai Drogu Namda Jinlan Jamba Shu Yidang Guru Rana Mandala Kam Tayami Chudan Zogi Chonam La Chanju Badu Dani Gyatsu Tagi Chigin Gibe Sonam Gim Rola Benji Sangye Drupa Shu Chudan Zogi Chonam La Chanju Badu Dani Gyatsu Tagi Chigin Gibe Sonam Rola Benji Sangye Drupa Shu Sangye Chudan Zogi Chonam La Chanju Badu Dani Gyatsu Tagi Chigin Gibe Sonam Rola Benji Sangye Drupa Shu
We have a time for just one question. Okay.
My question is so when you reach the eighth bhumi, right?
Yes.
So you no longer have a fiction, but you still have influence, right?
I can ask him. So that's your question, right? Also dann der Sagebel ja leer du zamba. 다 뉴모 방 사업체 다 뉴모 가다 사변 속으로 디데요 베스
다디 딘데리 오마라 안기벨루리에나 네 니들다 시트 지자도 반루야
지자도
상기 디미시 방기야 말이 야 팀미기 람르슈네 니들 다란지 디간 슈 아니 디치야 여러분 타주문도 지네 디니티바 침불에 야슈나 팀이 랑기네 스펀기 여러분 땡큐벨루레다 아니 사게버토인 두냐모 반시게레 사 게버토인 두냐모 사베 바레 땡큐벨루라
로로 사변 방고르바
방기야레 카타 카사 랑기벨루리네 사게버토네니모 야마레 응주도 야마레 데 사비 방기 야마레 담보티밀람도 슈마뉴니에 디네 시트 다뉴드니가 지자도 반루야레
디 먼저디 사게버스야데 전주순배 단데 저저 사게 먼저 사주디 택진다 단데 년도도 강그 투무르 직브레 양코란폰 지단로가 요래 말아서 사다가는 지그르 바 코란조
티밀라 사주시에 셰마레 티밀라 디니 알라몽아 디시기야레 티미기 손음 조놈 고놈 밀룰람 스제 사주고 남샤시기야 말이 사주고 남샤시바디 티진바 셈잠바다 우마란주바다 탱규바티게 시기야레 티네 우마란주바게 단데티 사게바토스나 이몽문도 주와야 말이디 텐징문도 주와야 말이디 사벤파야 말이 스제 탱규바이네 사게바토인도 잠바 텐지 사벤도 제바파리 텐지 팅인도체 인도티 사게바토인도 방게레
디 사변 방 사브레스
반차
그래서
네 랑규바나 시제 셰브리 캐세티
아즈벨
네 응주가 야마리티 사변파 야마리시야티
랑규 난다지 하나도 디 파울루르가 디 수마도 랑규랑 저송고이나
다디 지단 디추인도 셈 잠발에 차이주이도가 랑규발에 차주야리 땡규발에 차주야르바 다든 단데디 카산디 셰베나 시제네 어두 샤브레 카사 다데 땡규벨룰레제네 사게바토인디그미디 땡지 판차레 사벤 판아레 다파야 디시디 미쇼테 마레
The question was that at the 8 Bhumi, does that mean we also removed both affliction and the imprint? That was the question. Rinpoche's answer to that is when we talk about this Dharmadhatu and explain this text, you basically have a different versions of the explanation regarding what affliction removed and what imprint removed at what bhumi. This is because primarily, there are 4 major different schools of thought in Buddhism, and the differences between the Savantantra, this autonomous, the school of the autonomous existence, and the Parasangika, the Madhyamaka school, and they have a different way of explaining at what stage you remove what affliction and its imprint, and also because the similar and the differences of explanation and the references are made by the Hinayana or the Theravada schools. The Theravada schools also sometimes have a different way of really explaining the attainment. So if we maybe explain this according to the Savantantra, the school of autonomous existence, and the Parasangika, the mathematical schools, the Parasangika, the consequential mathematical schools. And the differences is, according to the Seven Tantra, at the 8th bhumi, at the stage of the 8th bhumi, you remove the affliction, but the imprint is there. That's the explanation. Whereas the Parasangikas believe that you remove the affliction, the actual affliction, as well as the affliction and its imprint. And so these are the two differences. And in terms of at what stage we attend, what we accomplished, what attainment, the difference is really minor. And so, of course, when Nagarjuna wrote the text, according to the mind-only schools, they explain that text according to their school of philosophy. The Chittamantras, you would, use that text and explain this according to their the references and the reference of the point, and then Parasangikas would go according to their school of thought. So that's the differences.
Kasan Kavaleson.
Kasan de Leson, Gesum Tason, Geju Gepsidea, that and Sa Trupa Sun Saja, Satimbulia Letisha. Saw the Rimgijuba Luni, Sangas over Taxin Namset, Himta. One on Dimare, Matrisha. Deletisha, Geju Gepsi to Kolio Governam going to Hogatawe, Zawat Hans, Satimbulia.
Oh, that is. Da kundula wa de sirochis ku satin baring suma sedi.
Flawless. We've discussed yesterday verse 83, which is the 6th bhumi, and now it's 84, the 7th bhumi. Can you please read the verse 84, please?
The Bodhisattva read and prayed and died, reaches every point in their surroundings, and since they have crossed themselves on the ocean, their goals once reach far.
Kurve gundu ribatans dati kolu kurve namgudu yigitare zevatans dati korgi una dati segitawarachi korgi jingugi yigitare kolu Kove kundu rebas tati ji korigi sudat vegetarian kove konepet rebas shata shube sorche tati kui shudan of jimbre
Lolos.
Ani kore choi damgele seati koa duge cholesida koa di dungegi gyazurub jirba jesan koa dungegi gyazule gyazuye damle gesida koa di dungegi gyazul damdaburub jije damle damgi chole gegawa gomba dingi ding geshinsida gegawa di karere shansane gomba ding dila dingi chimbu siyarba desenta dingi le geshin sida sa dube ga su dingi le gebe yimba ta dingi chung jumbe ringdu songas ta sa dube ga su gomba dila chimbu dila korsum che ding dile korsum che ta dingi chung dile chung din jongshi ring tu songas da ta di sa tu bale ring tu songas ta ring tu songas ta ko damgi 담내 게 텔라 링도 송 시자우스 다딜레 링도 송 세야디 코에 담기 코에 동해기 자주 담딜레 개와인사 네 사두버딜레 사둠버딜레 링도 송 하시기
당나지 코안에 최사합체
코에 담기 두게 코알레다
타사드 디나레 디바 코에 동해기 자주레 개가와 세계야 되다 코에 동해기 자주 디나네다 지 공반들레 공반 방제들레 충디 딩들레야 충디 침부숨이바 다 충들이 딩 딩기 딩데 계신 충디 좀 버쳐봐야서 근데 딩도스 다 코에 지당 간걸로 개야 말이단다 아니
단데디 코에 동이 자주 텔레디 코에 동이 자주다 코에 동이 초지 공반들라 전부 고르숨 제디 제타를 봐 방타를 단 딩들 고르숨 이봐
예예
원 딩기 충우대 좀 버쳐봐야서 아니 단다
코안을 내려 봐
네네
코안을 내려
충우비 충우 고르숨 이봐 일단 방주래
놀랐어 코안을 유입체
네
동분이도 사업체
동분이도 잘해
동분이도 사 코안을 던도 내기체
어디봐 다들 땡기베이나 사게버 토인도 코아 방바래
사게버도 좀 놀랐어 so as reads in the translation this verse which is 84 talks about the practitioners who reached to the seventh bhumi. We just crossed the seventh bhumi. Yesterday we talked about the sixth bhumi. We crossed the sixth bhumi, reached to seventh bhumi, and in sixth bhumi we talked about the prajna, attainment the prajna. You already kind of been meditating on emptiness, and the sixth bhumi is also equivalent to the sixth perfection, the perfection of wisdom, and you have been engaged in the practice of emptiness. And because of that, you realized emptiness at this stage. But still, you are in samsara. According to this is Rinpoche is explaining this according to the Parasankika, the consequential, the middle way school explanation. According to that explanation, in the seventh bhumi, you attained, you realized emptiness. You already accomplished, for example, abolishing the afflictions at the seven medium. What you call the medium. When we look at when we look at the five paths. We are at the path of meditation, and under the path of meditation, this seventh bhumi is medium small. So you already tackled the affliction. That's explained in the medium. So you meditated, you continued your meditation, you realized the emptiness. You already removed a lot of affliction. And according to the Parasankika view, when you attain the eighth bhumi, then it is said that you've been liberated from samsara. So it's your kind of one step away from samsara, in essence.
다단데 그 동의긴 담 자준 담리 계셔야 된 담리 계야디 디 jumba gomba jingi chungutili kevaimba jingi jingdi satubeta suke tan jingi chunguti jumba kevaimba tin santini ringtu sonasche ta damle ke se ati ke ati kwetungi kwetungi tadale treveresene de jeve yamarba tanda tendeti kwetungi sininda kwetuve gomba pangje tele pangje mambuchi venani ta pangje jingi sumbu kor sumbu tili kedore mude le kevimba wata de kwetung damle kele se ati kedanti.
In the root text, it mentioned that this path, the seventh bhumi, is called the one who reached far, and in other translation is the gone afar, the bhumis of the gone afar. It's meaning you're already becoming far away from the sufferings of the samsara. Because here in the translation it says since they have crossed samsara's swarming ocean, basically saying you already kind of becoming far away from the sufferings, the direct sufferings of the samsara. It's not like automatically meaning you crossed it. You already become further away from the sufferings of the samsara, and that's where it's called the Guan Afar Bhumi.
Di ta kwe tungi unju diarvesene di yamare kwe tungi unju di yamare karesene di jula pungbu tusu lengi ungu chue pungbu tinne gyurjebre sadangbu toyindu lengi ungu chue pungbu tipanne gyurne sami gi pungbu rachire
sami pungbu chasawa
대단지베 그렇소 삼미 부분에 그렇죠. 디제티네 단데 징기 공반 중 거스미 여봐 두수 줄이야 말이 디 빵야 말이
니모 줄메
메스 어 문주도 메스 메네야 빵바 말봐
다음에 주자마자 사변도 돼요.
사변도 돼요. 쿠판 응주디야 말이 아가난도 가르스는 지 가산디바 잠바르지 고민도 잠바 콘도 등주디야 말봐.
그래.
콘도 빵야 말봐.
그래.
아가난도 이네 콘도디 디네급도 콘도 응도 주야 말이지 콘도 빵야 말 콘도 라야 콘도 응도 주야 봐. 다단데 두슬 콘둥 라양도 주주디 야마레 이니야 마방야 디코 사베 마방 바르바.
So at the seventh bhumi, if we have to look at where we are in terms of our handling of the affliction, at this bhumi there is no actual affliction. The actual affliction is gone, but the imprint or the seed is still there, and therefore we cannot say we have abandoned affliction. And the gross affliction is gone, but the imprint is still there. And in terms of why we are far away from the swamis of the samsara suffering, and this is because if you remember that when we attend the first bhumi, we have already left the kind of suffering, the aggregates behind, the physical. We already crossed, like taking a birth or taking like bodies or the forms, what you call this, we already above under the influence of, like being grasped by physical bodies. So we already accomplished that. Because of that, we already crossed quite a few sufferings. But here, the imprint is there. the actual afflictions also gone. And then we shouldn't, tell people, oh, when you reach at the 7th bhumi, you have abandoned, say, affliction or self-grasping. We have not abandoned, meaning the gross, afflictions gone, but the potence is still there. And if you wanted to explain that where are we at this stage, then you can say we're at the medium small of the path of meditation. So another explanation is, do you remember we talked about relying on antidote to really counter the afflictions. And one of the explanations that I gave you in the past was we meditate on compassion to really overcome anger. So when we do that meditation, and as you're really in kind of a compassion samadhi, at that time you already kind of turned your mind into compassion, and the anger is not there. But still the potency of the anger is there when the time and the condition are risen. Like this, you already remove the affliction, but the imprint is there. Well.
Tadine Sake Varava.
Real.
Sangi, that Zawati Garasana.
Sangi ni di sungshin se to sangi
Yishi Jazu Shubatan, Bemin Jubri.
Real, Bemin Jubri.
Do you call the better?
Do you call me?
Study Sake Tishiaris.
And now we read verse 85.
Definitively guided by
Tadi Sangi Guinness Disungshin Sidista Sangi Sujesu Songas Tasa Gavane Sangi Sujesu Sonatiaris Sungshin Ani Ishi Gazus Java Dubala Tadu Le Mishi Sindumbawa Tata Ishi Gazus Medo Ishi Gazuru Shubatans, Ishi Gazu Shubatans, Ishi Gazu say Ishi the Medo Ishi says Dame Betung Sundu Ishi Tile Medo Ishi Medo Sende Medo Sede Karasure Nami Jungshin Medoba said Shuri Yule Yonga Patil Medovas Yure Jingu on to Masuma Jingu da Tene You Dame Betona Tiji never on Joa in Santa Medo Ishilu Combo on Jotosite Sagava Tosu Servatele Sumiari Servat Chung Seachiche Tiba Chimbi Jonam Servat Tundu Dung Metabe Serva Chung di Givere. Dine Sa Dambuto Indu Tombani Dona Metabe Serva Ring Tije. Sa Gava to Indu Zamba Any Serva Chimbo de Tombani Dona Metabe Serva Chimbo di Givayans. Dene Dinjung to Gua Yamare Siati, Medo Ishilu Combo Onjuto, Medo Ishiti, Dame Tobe. Medovi Shitila, Combo Onju Tobayasa, Gadune, Tinjung to Guame, Dame Betun, the Jet of Ginegus, Yamsha Ginegus, Dame Bunsun to Togri, Jet of Ginegus, Yam, the Tembame, Temig Namati, Chicheret. the make it now the Java the Messiba in Bari. Chesa Tendo Kumata now Chiarva. Or thing on the Juber Chin, Jetogi Negus, Tendo Cuban Yamshagi Negus, Namsha Nagata, Tombany Tombany Tijuting Bashabrava. Jetogi Negus, Kumata Vitella. Teto vale migliore. Me pensa ani tinjing to kuka mevere. Tata sai rangi belu le genetire. Tingi belu jena sai ke betuindu tinji pang to yerba. Wata meto ishi le komba onge to se meto be ishi se meto ba asiati. Ya nami chingu da teve. Metobe Shisiati, Metobasiati, Yushela, Yon at the Pane, Tombani, the Tiji to Yabashape, Metobe Shitilla compound to Tosi, the Tati, Metoba, or the Karasa Ishija to Shubasiati, Ishija to Shubasi, Ishiti, Meto Ishitiche. Dilla ni comba onguru tobayensa ishijatu shubas
tasa jebdi yang ranzu di tangatu tarengi di look the thank you look to or rangu look to or
rangu beluli chene meto ishilu comba onju tobari thank you beluli chene meto ishilu comba onju tobari
tindu ana sa jebto wina kwa ne thos havre thyo ma
rangu bel chene kwa le thsi yamar kwa pang si yamar kwa pang si yamar kwa pana nyomo pangura ba nyomo di sanji jukuman to de misho kele luni yare timigi lamla shune ya tijin shune di na nyomo pan charare tambo ne tijin lamla shune di na nyomo de nyomo bata shije de nimbo pan ru re sanji de misho pangi mare ine ya tijin on to ya mare medo ishil komba unju to batiji bare
안 디가냐 되는 거란서 랑규부터 땡규는 아직 만다 가려래 제가
랭규베제다 땡규베제는 사이게부터 인도 녀모바 자준베 구반 터버리
다좀 터서 봤어
자준베 구반 터버리디 녀모베 좀 버리
녀모베 좀 코아나
제
코아나 트서 땡규 코아나 트서
네 랑규베제는 코알레 줘야 말이 디네 미도 이실 공부한 게 터지 버리
So the verse 85 talks about the qualities of eighth bhumi. And because when we attain, maybe when we reached to the eighth bhumi, we attain a single-pointed kind of a control on our contemplation. And that our meditation on emptiness becomes so powerful that we already kind of gone beyond the disruptions or the interruptions in our meditation. We mastered the single-pointedness on meditating on emptiness, and because of that we realized the selflessness of the person, and this is such kind of a powerful attainment that it's already kind of moved from the part of medium small now to small big. We already crossed that stage, and so as mentioned in the text, when they use the word the primordial awareness see. And these translations really a little bit harder to understand, but I'll explain what Rinpoche says. We talk about wisdom, right? The practice of wisdom. And in this kind of bhumi, that our wisdom is, become really sharp and profound. That it's already started removing, the self-grasping, the concept very powerfully. Therefore, they usually refer to this as the ocean of wisdom. Sometimes this wisdom, which is really now tackling some of the very, very subtle afflictions and the self-grasping aspect of the mind. And sometimes they describe the eighth bhumi as the mido yishi, the wisdom of 미도부스 니의 진구네
진구 견다 제외 아니 다음에 뵀던다 그래서 우리 공부 원주도 토베이사 메도 이실 기자도 숙세트.
So when we talk about this wisdom of ocean, or sometimes the wisdom of non-conceptuality, this is because you mastered your meditation skill or ability in such that it no longer have all the faults of the contemplation. Your single-pointedness is, become at a pure stage. It's no longer affected by the interruptions or by the wavering or by, this doziness. You already kind of overcome all the faults of the meditation. And because of that, your kind of mind, you have mastered the control, a total control over your meditation. And it's not kind of affected by the doziness, not by kind of the wavering or the interruptions. And you kind of totally single-pointedly absorb the selflessness. And because of that, they describe this as the wisdom of non-conceptuality, one way of describing it. And then Rinpoche, refer to another kind of measurement. When we talk about, your practices of patience, usually they're also divided by, the practice of patient as, like a big, medium, small. And in these, you already mastered quite a significant progress on the practices of the patient as such that, nothing really can disturb your meditation or your concentration. And because of that, it's tackled the self-grasping aspect of the mind. It's already dealt with the gross level of the self-grasping mind. It's already removed that. But still, the potence is there. And because, the difference take between the Sovatantra and the Parasangika in terms of how do they define the eighth bhumi, as we explained before. And for the Parasangika, at this stage, you already removed the affliction, and you already attained the arhat. If you look at how the Theravadas explain their progress, at some stage the Theravadas said they attained arhat state, and so the Parasangikas would say when we reach at the eighth bhumi, we already reached your version of the arhat state. And the Parasangikas, when they talk to the Theravadas said, our kind of ultimate attainment is arhat. Not arya, it's arhat. So the judgment. So the arhat, attainment of the arhat by the Theravadas considered as the final goal in many practices, right? So when we reach at eighth bhumi, we already accomplished or attained that, the arhat state. And then, according to the autonomous existence or the Svan Tantrika, we already dealt with a number of the gross afflictions, and we reached to really dealing with the very subtle afflictions and potencies. And still, there are further things to. Still, there are further steps to go. So that's how the Svan Tantrikas explain. 당근에 좋아지도 남았어요 지금. 당근도 지금 건조에 배진 특징도 안제 마스 땡귤로 지제 셰비나. 당근도 지금 디 사계별거리야. 간조부터 뉴몽그 응문규 방사부와. 단지 응문규 맵지.
딘지야 말이야.
다이넬레 디유스 라고야. 당근도야 가서래 그 사변 단대대요 봐.
사변이야 말이야.
영마 사변 방사.
예 말이야. 네.
덴지기 사변
반차래. 다드네 단대대 제네 땡큐 베제네 시드비야르바.
로르스.
시드블 거고 체스. 다 시드도 거고 체니 시드디게 만주르바.
시드 방기인.
단다 인드블 거고 체베이나. 땡큐 벨루로 인드데 반차래.
인드 반차라.
단대데 다 그랑기 반야디 곰바 반야디 시드 고야르바 시드즈 고치네 아니 시드디 사 단다 사케바디 니모 반차레리 니드 반차레 스타고 고치네 충딩세 충충스 충충 신부 충딩 충충 숨이바 디 시드를 거치어 공반들이야 시드 등인지
아네 디탄데 세상 어디 투데다 나란도 탄데 공반데 셰인도 잠바 시드 무슨 윤립 셰고 말아
이가 용거야
you know less
다디 사게발 자인도 아니 윤립 반차레에서 고구치야 매베체
알다 윤립 차단방 사빈
반차레제
시드방 매스
다 시드방 매 비시드 고구치니 사니번에 야요
알아야 bed로하르바
니리치버레
안에 친구다 친구들 집집 키우는 거야
집집버레 다단데디 디 사게버들 충 첨부딩이바 충 첨부디 방이야리 사드메가서 충딩디 방송아 충디 딩기 충디
사드 메가를 야디 딩기 충을
야, 다 사게버거스 딩 충 첨부디 반루래. 아니 사게버거스 충 딩디 반. 사게버거스 아니 충디 반루래 봐. 다디 시디로 거르고치.
시디를 디케서 아주
다디 랑기베나 신체 침버봐. 캐세트.
알레.
랑기베나 신체는 시디로 거르고치, 인디블레 거르고치, 공바델 시디도 인디미가 야레.
로르스.
아니디 산게 인디 시디도 인디미가 지자도 반투베레.
정말 뒤집고 점색이 다는 것도 시디분은 셰야죠 봐. 다 사개벌 레디 좀봐. 시디 관리돼요. 시디 단대가도 제세도 셰야도 윤디빈스 봐. 단다 디스마죠 봐. 단다 사개벌 그도 돼야 아주 충을 첨부로 봐. 윤디빈의 시디 셰고.
랑기벨룰이 쟤는 윤디 시디미가 야레.
니가세. 땡큐를 놓으세요.
땡큐를 때는 스타 시디미 시지기야.
시디미 시지. 아주 단데 공도 제세게도 좀 충을 첨부세죠 봐.
충을 첨부세야 시디들라.
시디 셰고.
시디들 거르고치.
로르스.
거르 두디야 반사를 봐. 사 딩베가스 딩기 충을 반송아.
로르스.
다 중국이 전부 중국 딩 중국 숨이 알아 봐. 디데데 알아 봐. 사이게 그것을 중국 전부 디바.
로르스. 중국 친구들 시디를
제.
로르스.
아니 중국 그베가스 중국 딩 주베가스 중국 디바.
네.
어디서 전에 Banduya.
Flawless.
Sandy, the Rangibashi Sharajanatu Jibaria, Briati. You did die, she did Nigala Korku Chichi. Tombas, Combans, 11 Mishu, you did that she did Shemagoche. That the Combans, Jevi in the combat, the Korchuch in the combat, and that the Karasure Sakevali combatiri. Combattere shitib the Niva. Combat Cheverva. Sakabato in the Tengivel combat Payamari. Combattere shitib Yarva. To say Andrew Chiba.
And the Tengivel Chimbina, Tangan to Shidip on a Devina. Shidip the Sakabagavia or Combat the Chum Ding Shiver, Chum Ding Chiburba, flawless.
The Chiba that in a combat selection. Thank you, but I give a nickel chachu. Jibs Jenna.
Flawless.
That is Rangivel combat the shitib than you do nearby. Nigati Sad Chadu.
The Matua Tandalia, thank you, Joseph and Duna.
Thank you, Jenna Combat Slam together. Combat Jenna. Tarjum Batovere, the Combat Paya Yare.
Flawless.
Sakeva to the shitty banku yarba, shitty the combat.
Flawless.
Combat the shitty go yarba.
Flawless.
Combat Payarves and combat Payamaris.
Flawless.
You do to be combat yarba or to Pambaris. You did the Pambaris.
Flawless.
I could do see a chin together.
That's it. Today's conclusion, Leal Harstan Tapsichiva. Sorry, I had a couple of questions for Rinpoche because different texts and philosophical tenets have a different explanation of the Bhumis. As you know, some of the writers of the Bodhisattva Bhumis only follow the Svatantra school. And then for us, follower of the Parasankika, sometimes it's slightly, then, have a different take on this. So I asked a few personal questions. And Rinpoche was very helpful. Basically, Rinpoche said, when we talk about Gombang is basically a meditation of abandonment. What we are abandoning, the afflictions, the self-grasping, and so on. So something to be abandoned in your meditation path. And so these are divided from the path, the second bhumi to the 10th bhumi, basically. And so basically they check at the affliction, and then starting with the most gross and going to the most subtle. And then they apply corresponding the meditation stage where you are in terms of, when you deal with the second bhumi, the affliction being the gross, and then you move from the bhumis to, second bhumis to the third bhumis, you're already kind of tackling a little bit less gross and so on. And then they're giving names to really why you have names for the bhumis instead of first bhumi, second bhumi. Because when you have this name, and the Rebgawa, the joyful, the joyous bhumi and so on. In that bhumi, it explains the quality or the description of that bhumi stage, and it's kind of basically explaining the attainment in that bhumi. And so this explanation of at the different stage of the bhumi is common between the Svatantra and the Parasankika. There is no major differences. And the slight differences is for the Parasankikas, having really removed the affliction, both the gross, subtle, and imprint. Still, the Parasankika's view that not equal to full enlightenment. To attain full enlightenment, not only you really remove the affliction at the seeds or the potence. On top of that, you also have to attain or you remove the obscuration to the knowledge. Once you're told, not only you remove the affliction, you also remove the obscuration to knowledge, then you attain full enlightenment or the omniscient state. So that we all understand here, right? And so when you now, so this is a kind of additional knowledge as you remove affliction and its potencies. That's one major job. And then you remove the obscurations to knowledge. And that's, the second important part, because to really attain the omniscient status, you not only remove the fault, but you also gain that kind of wonderful quality that, gives you access to all the knowledge spontaneously. And in order to do that, you have to remove that obscuration to that, kind of power of that knowledge comes in your kind of a mind stream. And so if you have this as part of your kind of understanding, and then now with this kind of background, and then you start looking at these bhumis, at the 8 bhumi, you removed all the afflictions, and to this most subtle afflictions and its potence, you already done that. But then now you still have to do the next job of removing the obscuration to the knowledge. So to really keep it simple, I try to abide by the Parasankhika view, because for you maybe this is a little bit easier than cross, like zigzagging between the Svatantra school and the Parasankhika, because it's then become a little bit more kind of complicated. So I asked Rinpoche again, according to the Parasankhika view, how should they explain the 8 bhumi? And Rinpoche said, 8 bhumi, you remove the affliction and its potencies of the affliction and self-grasping. But still, you have to now do the job of removing the obscurations to knowledge. That job still, is required. So this is where we are right now. Well, the best searchings. Thank you, Lord. My share into Zamba. Taji Sagebegan led to the Ninja Bank Fabric. Tiny Shitty Branch in a Gozo. That's it.
That didn't teach. That Bemis Bemilungi Shungi Jews. That the Shandu. Bemba never said the Shandu Bemil Hindu to chess. Bezo Rabal Metuba Shandu Chevatis in Bezo Rabal Metuba Sungi to Patachi, some Bemil Hindu said the Shandu said Shandu Bemil Hindu to Chenapache. Do you call me you are said that Shandu Bemil Hindu to Chenava son? Do you Shandu Chevala Patu Chevatile Miwa? Patu Chevat Patu. Miniba in some mewa, do you give me your said? Do you could give me your said? Shandu Jevati, Ani Dugilegi, Shandu Dile, your map. Your Jimin, the Carres and Shandu Bemin to the Geneva in some, and you could better Rabal to cook never in some, and it do give budget to maybe.
No. And Rinpoche tanda Shandu Bemil Hundrup Chatoyadi, then Yunjib Sam Bam Tuzan Res Lam Jiguna, Sadigab.
That is Tingivel lesson, Tigiarity, Rangivel generation, the Bemil into the Chungsigari, Sakavato, the Garesene, Nimupa Yamariti, Nimu, Shawan to Dreati Yamare, Co Meto Ishilukumba on Jutobimba.
And so one of the qualities of the strength of this bhumi, the 8 bhumi, is you are able to accomplish the spontaneous and free of any effort to really help the sentient beings. Because for the Parasankhika view, that when you reach to the 8 bhumi, you already remove the affliction and its potencies, right? And because of that, you are no longer under the influence of any affliction or any self-grasping mind. You are basically freed yourself from the chains of affliction and its potencies. And because of that, now you're able to really accomplish helping other sentient beings or accomplishing the interests of the sentient beings without any interruption. because you already mastered your kind of the wisdom to a kind of single-pointed strength, that your contemplation is so powerful that you're kind of totally in observation of the contemplation. And because of that, you're able to basically command your mind at will, and nothing can really interrupt you, nothing can disturb you. So with this kind of affect, the spontaneous kind of and free of effort quality, arises in that. And thus, the eighth booming is named the unshaking by the mothers of, Echon and so on. Why is unshaking? Nothing can really interrupt you. In other translations of this text, the eighth booming is translated as the boomings of the immovable. That's other translation. And basically, you had the total control over your mind, and you already kind of accomplished removing the most subtle the affliction and its potencies. So, okay, of course, we're talking from the point of view of a Parasankhikas here. And then if you talk from the Svatantrika, they still believe that the common thing between the explanation is that Svatantrika still believe at this stage you tackled, the affliction, and you gained the master with your meditation. Nothing can really interrupt your meditation. But then the Svatantrika still believe you have the potencies of affliction there, but it's kind of no power at all. It's still kind of a seed, some kind of a stance there, but no kind of force, no power. But the Svatantrikas still believe some kind of imprint is there. The Parasankhikas believe you already moved it. So that's the differences. Long.
Oh, that is. Then it's a good.
So Yangda Rigunla.
Rigunla, Chedun Pai, Belbe, Tam, Nanjo Badi Tarsunbe, Sadi Lebelu Dreams. That is Sakubatis and Suso Yanda very she said to be a Suso Yanda very bad, Suso Yanda very bad, Nebeti, Suso Yanda very bad, Boba Suso Yanda very bad, Suso Yanda very bad, she said. Suso Yanda Rigunla. Did the Tobayansa shoot them but the Itina Bebe Tamdi Karasuri Tarsenberg shoot Nanjo Batigi Tarsenbe Sadis Dati shoot them Bala Bedamdi shoot them to turn down here and Bedam Senator. Children down the river. The nature of the children on the base, Tarsan, but it's joining, but so I am the very bushy to India. Any choose so and the river, so and the river. Ginny, see in a carine. Chick. Sanjay Rangi get the timber to turn to give it 6 or so. A day is that Sugan Bedam Jeba Dichina, be Sugan Bedam the Tarsan Bravichinsa, and Lebel to see at the rate. Beldams, children by in Bedams, Nature body, Tarsan base, bed, children by Bedam, the Nature body, Sakuvel and never Nature body. Tarsan Bravichinsa, Chudun to the bed, Jamba Tarchin Bravichin, Tobayinsa, Najo but the Tarsan Bay, Sadi Lebelu to Sat Sakubala Lebelu to see.
That's so verse 86, can we please read the verse 86? So, as mentioned in the verses, quite self-explanatory, that this talks about the qualities and attainments of a ninth bhumi. If we look from this other measurement, this is a small medium. Basically, in this bhumi, you kind of become excellent with your intelligence, with your knowledge, and so on, because of your meditation power, and you have no obstacles for teaching Dharma to sentient beings in different languages. You're kind of spontaneously able to preach to all sentient beings in their own languages with the most excellent intelligence and the faculties and so on. And because of that, this bhumi is named here, the translations select intelligent. Other kind of common translations is usually they say the good intelligence. The bhumis of the good intelligence, because you already accomplished so much during the previous bhumis. When you reach to the ninth bhumi, you can preach to sentient beings without any kind of difficulties and obstacles.
That's Sajuba Chikitings. That is here. Diku Diminanga Tanyamba Sanje Namjin Zimbale Chigitini Gundu Jungs Tati.
Can we read verse 87, please?
The body at this point
Sajubadilla Chugitings, Chugitings, Karasinata, Chuchabala, that Bena Jidengi Dutch Chugi Chara Bebala Ting Dandrava City, Ting the Tingle Chugi Chabadin Weirva, Chugi Chabadi Ani Ting Dandrava Yishiti Chugi Ting Kundu Jones, that Yishigera, she could demamage number tabas, Namga Jisi Chaba. Yang Tini Chaba, Namka Taranya, the Sanjay Gitemba, Dambe Chunzile, Dujala, Chujita, Chunzin said that child Chaba Buddhism, the Jinjin Weirba, till Chunzin Sigive. Chabeg Jing Sierra Cherba, or the Chadin Sierra, Chadin Dile, Dujala, Chugichar Bevas, that Sajuba to into the number of a member, Chigi Dujala, Sangetan, Dravich, Chutembala, Sangetan, Gonyamba Injury. Sanjay number of a member Chugi. Duja Kandu Chudungriba. Dinner she Sajuba to a deatin, and each getting the Dujala Sanjay and Java. Duja come to Sambata Timbervici, Chugichar to Bevachi Ariba, or Dinisa, Chugiting, Yishira Shinki, Yishira Shin, Diku. Jimmy Nankai Tangyambas Sanje Namjin Zimbale Chugitini Chungashins. Just at that, Sajuba to a decent Shendu Chebako Sanje Tanyambayins. That DJ Dendo Chuchayati Bedura Palametuba. Manadu 춘진 딜레 샤바 바바디 진의 춘지 딜레 배주게야 말바 배주게야 말고 남도게야 말이 쿠비 차바 튀는 봐. 그나시 심제기 düce ziman 사실라 아니 춘지 나신치니 추기 차바디 따도 배버지바 어다디 현지지바 고상게 되는 바인지 어다딘데 디디리 제상 추기 띵세야디 나가 진이 잡고 있다는 얘기였어. 나가디다 나가를 탐해버려 지르바. 나가디 강걸로는 나가기 켜대요. 나가매베 쳐야 말봐. 제사 산지 사주버기 두지기 된지야디 나가더냐 봐. 나게 가져라 이 시기 켜비야리 시기 가져라 꾸이 켜비야리스. 아니 최된지디 아니 이 시기 가져라 나게 가져비 심절라. 내다도 추기 잡았디 배버지기야리 세르치리.
After this, then we have a break. So we reach to the 10th Bhumi. So here Nagarjuna talks in this text, in particularly the qualities and the attainments of the 10th Bhumi. He really talks more about what you can do rather than what you have accomplished in terms of removing affliction in this text. And basically, Nagarjuna is saying that the 10th Bhumi is called the Bhumis of the cloud of Dharma or the cloud of doctrine. Why? Because once you attain this Bhumi, that you accomplish is really great, and you almost become like the Buddha himself in terms of benefiting other sentient beings. You can benefit the sentient beings like a Buddha. You already become so powerful that you can really teach. The only way of benefiting sentient beings through teaching. And so you can teach to the sentient beings according to their understanding, the level of understanding and disposition. And that you really can do this without any kind of a gross level of effort. Like when we have to do something, we have to do a lot of preparation, a lot of obstacles have to overcome, and so on. But when you reach to the 10th Bhumi, all this becomes effortless. It's become spontaneous. And the example that Nagarjuna used here is the cloud. The cloud is kind of gathered without a great deal of effort. And as the cloud is gathered sufficiently with humidity and so on, then it started raining or producing rain. And so he used that example of that your attainment is such that you can teach like the cloud is releasing rain without any effort. And so that's where the rains of the Dharma. And here he particularly used the word the cloud of Dharma, because when you look at the space, which also at some point referenced in these verses, that unpolluted sky is just like and one way of really explaining that your kind of awareness is so pure, limitless, so spontaneous, and so spacious. Your awareness, and then when you need to benefit the sentient beings, the cloud is gathered, like the cloud, gathered without a great deal of effort. And as soon as the cloud and the humidity gathered, it started releasing rain. And so you start, releasing the teaching of a Buddha. And that really benefit countless sentient beings. And so from that point of view, your qualities in terms of helping sentient beings is become exactly like that of Buddha Shakyamuni himself. And then we'll stop here for now. After 10 minutes break, we regroup at 10 to...
아니 다바디 파세서는 그 림부치 링당기 연대강도 추도 주고 봐. 다단데 티티 집어지. 다지 장세야 티티. 지메낭도 네디야리 단다란 줄이티. 다지마디 장구야 봐. 지마디 링 장시도 티. 지마디 파장 지마디세 아니 디리 코랑디인데디야 오늘 그 여러바디 인사다데 장베데부데 시겠다 장데디 다디 참베다 장데디 추궁도 지게바 추구들 구시야리 구싱도 주게래 다디
So we have explained you the 10 bhumis, the description and the attainments that you make, the abandonments that you do. And having talked about the 10 bhumis, from this onwards, it talks about the result. It's explaining what result you should expect. Having accomplished these practicing the 10, rather is crossing the 10 bhumis. So can you please read? Okay. No. And so when we started the teaching, we talked about the Buddha nature. the quality of the kind of our mind. And when we explain to you that we have this amazing kind of quality in our mind, the kind of unintruded or unkind of the original or the innate, the quality of the mind is pure and light, a clear light, like kind of a mind, in which your mind have this quality of being so clear and so bright. And also the mind has the quality of this powerful. The mind's quality is that you can improve it. You can increase the quality of the mind as you practice. You can so we talk about the two natures of the mind. I don't know, initially how it's explained. So I'm just going to use what I just received from Rinpoche, and that you look at the Buddha nature of mind, and one aspect of the mind is the clear light. This kind of pure, this bright part of the mind. That's one quality of the mind. The other quality or the aspect of the mind is that you can learn new things, you can change it, you can progress, you can increase that kind of potentials. So that's the other aspect of the mind. With the combination of the two, that any stance, any fault in your mind is removable. The afflictions are temporary. The afflictions are not the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind is a clear light. It's pure and clear. And therefore, enlightenment is made possible because you have this kind of a basic, wonderful quality, which is pure. And all you have to do is really to remove the stance. And so to really remove the stand, there are two things you have to do. And remember that there are two aspects in your mind. One is this kind of a clear light, this natural bright part of the light. And you really increase that clear light through meditation. And also the other aspect of the mind is that you can increase the qualities. And this increasing the quality, and which is temporarily stand by the affliction, as you can meditate on emptiness. On top of that, you practice the other perfections, such as generosity and discipline, and so on. And that really kind of increases your kind of the potentials and the powers of that mind. And so seeing the two aspects of the mind and using two aspects of the two primary aspects of the practice. The one first is practicing wisdom, the meditation on shunyata, the emptiness. Right? That's one thing, which really increases the mind's clarity. And then other aspect of the practice is really some terms that they use is gathering merits. And when you gather the merits through the practices of generosity and so on, which kind of again empowers the mind, and it kind of brings out the kind of huge potential of that aspect of the mind. And with these two, when you continue the practices, you attain the full enlightenment. And once you really attain the full enlightenment, you did two things. First, you removed all the faults, the affliction, the self-grasping, and so on. And also its potence, you not only kind of remove the afflictions and its potencies as well. And then also through really attaining this full enlightenment, because you also been practicing the gathering merits and so on, through the practice of generosity and so on. And what you really did was you really gathered that huge merits, and that merits really enable you to purify the obscurations to knowledge, and to really enable you attain the Rupakaya, and also sometimes they call this like a Buddha's form body. And through the meditation of the emptiness, you attain the wisdom body. And then through generating the merits, you attend the other kind of sometimes they call this form body or Buddha's form or Rupakaya, or these other attainments. And so Nagarjuna is explaining to you, right at the beginning and in process, that we have this amazing asset. The mind is amazing. It's saying its potential is limitless. You can do amazing things with your mind. And so mind is really like a wish-fulfilling germ, or some really kind of very sacred, powerful, wish-granting gem. But right now, we have this mind hidden or concealed by affliction. And so Rinpoche said the best way I can, give you the explanation or example is that you have this amazing germ, stuck in the mud, a muddy pool. And this is what our current state of the mind is like. It has this amazing, powerful, the potential, thing is there, and then it's kind of stuck in the muddy. And all we have to do through the meditation and the practices, we kind of cleanse the mud, and really shine or inshine that really the quality, better quality of the mind. And so you will hear the word like a cleansing or purifying and so on. So Nagarjuna said that through practicing the wisdom emptiness and also generating merit and so on, we first we really shine the potentials of the mind, and also we purify the existing stands, and we relate these practices to do that. And once we do that, then we will realize the full enlightenment or the Dharmakaya. And so in Buddhism, you engage in these practices of really increasing your wisdom, purifying your stance, and as you do that, eventually you're aiming at attaining two. Sometimes they call this two bodies, sometimes therefore four bodies. And the two bodies is like the Dharmakaya, or the wisdom body, and then the Rupakaya is the kind of form body, Buddha's form body, in which you can benefit others. And then this is further divided. Sometimes there's four bodies. Oh.
That's Sangye namgi chue kines jebe debu yung zimba neni yung sudurubadi chue ki gushi chue yins tadi Sangye namgi chue kines yadi Sangye ki pando tarutubi nes yadi Sangye ki pando tarutubadi kandes tobare yasinani Keje dame sundu tsunyis Jeba jene tubari sinatini jebe siyadi da sanje ki tugi ki pangdo tari chimpati da kande su tubari sine keje dame sundu tsonyi jeba jene di tubari sini keje dame sundu siyadi chojo ginne ka su dame dambi chosa sa tangbune timbe padile tami nive chosa tapasa sungi timbe padu tami nive chosa sa tapasa sungi ne su tami sumbe chosa di thalani bando ginde thaltu budi mundu chebarba jesa sangye namgi chegi ne se di bando thar chimbati che jebe se di kende mundu chebare se tami sundu chonyi ge jeba chene ni togare jebe debu yung jin sidu
So having talked about this, what we have and then what we need to do to attain further qualities. Now, from the verse 88, we are talking about the result or the attainment of such practices. So can we please have 88, please?
The ground and the qualities of Buddhas, rich training, fully held in hand, the transformation of the perfect completed, is in Dharmakaya as its name.
So, as explained in the verse, that when we really gone through all these kind of practices and the trainings mentioned in the preceding verses, what we eventually attain is a Dharmakaya. And this Dharmakaya is, according to the traditional Buddhist explanation, for the Dharma attainment of the Dharmakaya, we did two things. We abandoned all the negative qualities, and then we accomplish all the positive qualities. So then abandoning all the negative qualities and their roots and potencies, such as the self-grasping, because of that, the afflictions and so on. We're able to remove the anger and its causes. We're able to remove the attachment and their causes and so on. And so that's the abandonment. We've done all the abandoning work. And then the second one is a realization. Through meditation on emptiness, we realized all the wonderful qualities, such as realizing the selflessness in person and in phenomena, and realizing a lot of other, the qualities such as the single-pointed and uninterrupted, the contemplation skills, and the total absorption in contemplative stage. All this wonderful is, realized. So now everything to be abandoned is abandoned. Everything to be realized is realized. Then what you attain is the Dharmakaya. And so the quality of the, this Dharmakaya is, that is transformed our kind of all the negative into a positive. And so in the Buddhist explanation, that you do this through really going through training for 3 big aeons, like eons. And so in the 계진 장미 당고 저봐. 당고대 계진 장미 니비데 당고네 등부부터 체. 숨부디 개번에 주고 와 당고대.
저저 저놈다 저놈 기.
저놈다 저놈.
티버침 저놈 기.
And so basically you have to use, in terms of the numbers, or measuring the times, that it takes about 3 big aeons to accomplish the Dharmakaya. And when Rinpoche divided these 3 big aeons, or 3 aeons, and the first aeon of the time you spent on the path of preparation and application. And then the second aeon you spend from the first bhumi to the 7th bhumi, practicing. And then the third aeon is you spend from the 8th bhumi to the 10th bhumi. This is how you divide. And so in the root text, and it said and if the fruit of the training fully held in hand, meaning that the training you have to go through, divided into the 3 things. You like apply your the time to practice the path of preparation and the path of application. This will take maybe 1 aeon, and then practicing the first bhumi to the 7th bhumi in the second aeon, and then 8th bhumi to the 10th bhumi, the third bhumi. And as you really go through this kind of training, then you accomplished what is there to be accomplished. and that's or the transformation is completed, and it's so perfect, the transformation, and that's why now we attend Dharmakaya.
The Timibana Timibagi disigere Solom Ginego Sutami Sundi Tosa. Then a Jonam tent of Jiria, any Gushukobang to Chevres, Sangeti. Solom Ginegosu Tamisungi Todista. Then a Jonam Neji Jonam took a tent of Ranani, Sangi Gobang to Chevres here. Then Jonam Jane, Tonam, Colonam Jetge, Lams Sumyarba Milulams Jetge, content of Chilung to Chet of this here.
Dige kharchu go tholam golam milo lam dige
ten chila tanda te chine pena chojoging ni gas tami tambe chosarba tine satam timbane tipatu tami ni ve chosabra ti ten chila ya duguya mare teaching chena cheda mawati chosaya ti cholam Tibajimbe Tonangin is Damisum with Tosas. Jonam Tonatini, Dendagaran Sangi Quantopri. To Tos teaching but it Sojogin is Dami Tambuimba. Satimbe, Tambune, Timber to Nibaimba, Tabasa Sumbinegus Sumbaimba. Jedama Jena, Damisum with Toti Tambagi, Gadusa Bresin. Solom Ginego Sutanesum Gitosa. And Jonam Yencheti, Dumbate Juji to give a change of sympathy. And Jonam Yencheti, the 10th of Chilung to Chenny, Dumbasangi Kukuma Tobaresi.
So, as I explained, according to the Mahayana belief and explanation, that the three ayons are divided into the first ayon during the part of preparation and application, and then the second ayon from the first to the seventh bhumi, and the third ayon from 8 to the 10th bhumis. This is how the Mahayanas divided. Then, according to the Theravadas, they are slightly different way of explaining these, and according to them, they look at the 5 path, and then they say during the path of a preparation, and that you already used the 3 areas of practices. So the 3 areas already completed by the time you completed the path of a preparation. And when you reach to the path of application, and then path of seeing, and the path of meditation, and the path of normal learning, you already attained all the qualities, almost like a Buddha, in kind of the same in same section, in one go. And so they only divided these practices into 2 major kind of path of preparation. You spend the entire 3 areas of time training yourself. You reach to the path of the application and so on, and by then you already abandoned a lot of things, and your quality is already becoming similar to that of a Buddha. So that's how they divide it. So there's a slight difference way of explaining that, and you don't want to get confused. And we're following the Mahayana explanation of the each attainment at a different level and how the areas are divided.
Jebe debu zin se debu yung su zin se shtuwa sangye nam gi chetin bes jebe debu yung zin ba jeba se ati teta jeba se ati na keje tame sumji sumdu chonyi gi jeba se ati ba dan debu yung su zin ba se ne chonyi gi jeba je ne debu ti ani dewe debu se ne neng gi tima tamje da dewa ti se ne dewe debu 10 days at the golden Dharmadhatu did. And then Nami Debuti, Kushin Yabuti, Lunguta Tugutusu, Nami Debu. 아니 디 용순 짐바스제 디 제부 용순 짐바스에 디디 제부디레 나미 제테렌 제부다 텐데 다나미기 제부 싱이제 다디네 디네 네규르스르베
네니 용수 규르베테
다 네니 용수 규르베티 세티 네세티 네니 용수 규르베티 추규고스 네 규르세티 시바다 지아바 지제디 지미기도 네 규바 다단지 지마다 제베 심지 춘이 주바 라시네리디 산지 주고반 토인데 지마다 제베 춘이 추구레 두비야 나란도 수수기위 네거스네다 디제 심기 춘이디 아니 추구모르디 네 교두리 산지 고고만 토인데 단네 교르세디데리 다디 그 추구를 줘봐. 그 산제두두 아니 톰바 산제를 붙이나 톰바 산제 산제두두 그런 투기집에 소식이 길에 얘기 랑신내리디 산제바디스는 제마데 제베 심디 충이디 제마데 제베 심디 충이를 두리 추구를 두리 있제 추구내 교르스제 이제 디메든 영수교가 타르도바디 취지고 될어야 아니 추구시야 디마데 제베 충이디 디마데 제베 충이도 네 주바디 있잖아 될어니 추구시야 레스저리 디마데 제베 내그 소라히네리슬비야 디마데 제베 내그 추구시야 어디리
So in verse 88, there are two kind of key terms that we need explanation. One is the transformation. The transformation, one perfectly completed. The transformation is basically, we're talking about transforming from stand to standless. Transformation from with the afflictions and so on to become without afflictions. So that's one explanation is given here. And then the next one is talk about the fruit. And the fruit of such training, the fruit is, again, because we engaged in the practices of wisdom emptiness, and the practices of gathering merit and so on. And what is the fruit? The fruit is basically to attain that the Dharmakaya, that kaya, which is totally free of any fault, any limitation, and any obscurations. And so in Tibetan, when we talk about the Chugu, which is the Dharmakaya, and Chu is the kind of qualities, basically. And so we transform that, quality, from, the obscurated qualities such as stand by afflictions, and we cleansed, purified, and made it a total kind of stainless quality. And so the English translation is kind of direct translation of Dharma, Chu, and then Gu is Kaya, Dharmakaya. But in Tibetan, Dharma, here the Dharma is more talking about the qualities. So the direct maybe translation is the quality bodies or the quality kaya. Basically, this amazing qualities that we attained through the going through that transformation, through the training and the transformation, and so on. No. 박자 레트 삼이 캡스.
다 박자 레트 삼이 캡스. 다디 디주거래.
박자 레트 삼이 캡 코에 박자 삼트유. 큐는 군도 삼이 캡 관계 큐는 시브르니.
다디르베. 다 인상 다디 삼김이 켜버서야지 바자 레드세 아니 코야자와 디가르레스는 코야자와 디 바자레스 데 땡지기 바자디 바자스네데 땡지기 사베스네데 땡지기 바자시야다 곰바시야도 스티바레 베네 뇽몬베 사벤티 뇽몬베 바자시야레 디 코야자와레 제상 코야자와 바자인베 딜레도 아니 삼김이 켜버서 딜레도 추구디 아니 삼도 메바르지 삼김이 켜버스 다디제 알레티.
Can we have a verse 89, please? So in the commentary, it provided two commentaries. First, an overview of the commentary, and then goes in detail of this verse. So Rinpoche start with mentioning that the root of the samsara is the kind of the root of the samsara is the seed of affliction. Or sometimes they say the tendencies or the potence and so on, not potence, the seed, right? And so when you say, what is the seed of the samsara? The seed of the samsara is the seed of the afflictions and the self-grasping. These really tie us to samsara. But when you really purified or eradicated that seed, then you cross samsara and attain enlightenment. And that quality is inconceivable. You cannot really explain, that amazing quality that you attained by crossing samsara. So this pretty much explains the first, second lines of these verses. 코아자와죠봐. 코아자와의 뇽몬 바자인. So 단지 바자의 뇽몬 바자를 개발 요래.
뇽몬베 바자스는데 디디 지당 뇽몬베 바자 되자기 바자 여러봐. 되자 시당 바자 여래. 그런 뇽몬 바자스는 지당 그러봐. 네 바자 뇽몬들 땡지 여래 시드여 강가 여러봐. 그래서 되자야리 시당야리 차담무슨 순가야르바 다 디비 자와디 니모그 자와디 나는지 퀄리티와라 니모그 자와방 그래서 그래 바자드 방구야르바 대산 자와디 마바나 아니 코파야야 말다 바자스야디 사벤들리세리 인무기지 누버지여봐. 어때 인무기지 누버들 바자시게레 사변시게레. 어디디 코자디리스.
Yes. So as I explained to you, that the root of the samsara is the seed of affliction. And so affliction, you have attachment, anger, and ignorance, and so on. And we were tied to the samsara because of this, like a root, that root of affliction. And that really kind of plays a very important role for us tying to the samsara. But then when you really tackle that root of affliction, and then you can really release yourself from samsara. And so when we talk about this root, there are different translations. Some people prefer to use a seed. There's the seed of the affliction is the tying us to samsara, and sometimes they use the word imprint. And there's the imprint of the affliction ties us to samsara. So I don't know what terms you used in the past. I also heard the translation here used the tendencies. Another word that I heard in the past was a potency or something. Bhakja, yeah.
I've heard it also
propensities. So, since whatever the term you're familiar, what term did they use in the past?
Yeah,
all of them. Okay, so we just said this. Yes. Okay, yes. Seed, just for our purpose. So. And to Rinpoche's, the stressing here is just by really abandoning affliction does not release us from samsara. We have to really abandon the seed. And so if you have to really create a kind of measurement or the drawing line between samsara and the beyond samsara, it's whether you have really tackled the seed or not. It's not just the affliction, but when you dealt with the seed, then you can say you've crossed the samsara.
아니 다 그에 바자 삼도 유스 다 그에 다월 기베 바자디 수수 기빈의 그 수양 아니 다시 제는 삼도 유스 지 다시 제바 제기는 디 시야지야리스기를 더 삼도 유세디
저 삼도 유스
디제 다 제부 추구디 추기구디 다 추구 유run디 시기르다 추구 유run디 시기르디 추기 인스나 라신네리디르바 추기 인디 군도 데시 담보는 야리스 담보는 야리데 심적인 요소 지기 제바제바나 삼도 매버럽지 아니 큐네 군도 삼미켜스 큐네 군도 삼미켜스디 다 추구 요런기 추기인디 심적이 줄이야리스 이 통만의 야리디 삼도 매버려치리 수수기우기 바자디 쿠에자의 기베 바자디 수수기우기 삼도 매버려치지 디 쿠에자 쿠에 바자 삼도 요시제 디 수수기우기 내가 수제바제는 삼도 야리스 큐니 군도 삼이 켜스네 다 추기 인 추구 교run기 추인디 아니 수수기는 그 야리디 한국이야 말이 삼도 매봐 나라도 한국이야 말이 그래서는 팀에 빠져 대대여봐 팀에 빠져 대배에서는 삼도 매봐스 큐네 군도 삼이 켜스 강기 큐니 시바니스 어디 시바미 누구 말이에요 여러분지 다단다디 어디니 주는 뒤도래
So in the verse 89 they are talking about true qualities. The first quality is the seed of the samsara. It's the seed of the samsara for the ordinary person like ourselves. It's a constant. We can observe it, and it kind of arises without any effort, and it fulfills its role. And because of that, we keep, going the circle, right? And then, because of that, the seed of the samsara is a ponderatable, right? It's, like a constant, basically. We're constantly being manipulated by the seed of the samsara. Because of that, we suffer. Because of that, we take birth and so on. Then the quality of the this Dharmakaya, it's almost like a hidden. It's not a constant. Although we have it, we have this quality of Dharmakaya from beginningless time, and it's with us. but is hidden by afflictions. Here, Dharmakaya, the Chegu Gusu,
the Chegu Daddy,
Chegu Ying, the Chegu Guru,
Daddy, the Chegu Gusuga,
Chegu Gusu,
that Chegu Jurungi, Ying Chervara, Hinrich, Semra Himevach. What is your Mishoji? Than the Chubu Jurungi, Rahineri Cherva, this is Tamja Guliarva.
Chubu Jurung, so the potent, the seeds of Dharmakaya. The seeds of the Dharmakaya is with us, but it's not constant, it's not obvious. And because it's concealed by affliction and so on. On the other hand, the seed of the samsara is constant. It's kind of a very manipulative. And so, and therefore, is that although here you are freedom from you are completely inconceivable, is saying although we have this seed of the Dharmakaya with us from beginningless time, but this is not really conceivable to us immediately. And this is because the root of the samsara is, kind of a constant. They're constantly kind of manipulating us. And therefore, without some kind of, deeper going through training, we're not able to realize this seed of the Dharmakaya easily. But through, going through trainings and so on, then this, amazing, inconceivable power is revealed.
That is the Nanzu Timba. Masam Jimmy Hira Paji Chensia Jerva. Did the Jibaje Chuniti, Chugu Jurungi, Chuniti, Dumajerva, Tabaraba, Umbi Shivagini, Yumarva, Shetumarva, and Susu Jitemba Namgi, Tursam Gunsungi, and Yons Chidavashin to Sheminever, some Gimmick said. Tursam Gunsumdi,
Tursam Gumsumge, the Shingmaris,
Chidavashin. Some the Mikkel said, Masam Jimishira Parji said, the Tumbang in the Sigerva. The Chidavashin, some to mirror cigarette. Did he? Then a Bajar of the Chidavashin to shit to wear a coat. Tumbang said, the Chidavashin to that she took Maria said. Tursam Gunsum Shiruk. That's Garrison doing Musum to Yamarva, Jitin Begula, Tuni to be 2 Junior, some Junior, Gum Junior day. And in Musum to Yamarva, Musum to Matopato, and the Jitavashin to Shingi. Just
and so you are completely inconceivable. Meaning that you also have a similar line in Prajnameter, Prajnameter or another sutra, and which describe the qualities of a Dharmadhatu, saying that you are inconceivable, you are not explainable, you are indescribable, and so on. And then the question coming from the text saying why that the Buddha nature and so on is not conceivable. Why it's inconceivable? Rinpoche said this is because they are not really easily conceived through our senses. The meaning of emptiness and the Dharmadhatu and so on, you can maybe have a kind of an intellectual understanding. You can have some kind of abstract understanding, but you cannot experience it until you really practice and gain the realization. For example, if you really wanted to describe the seeds of the samsara, you can describe it. It's something kind of quite constant in our experience. That is something like observable. But when we talk about the Dharmadhatu, the emptiness and so on, you can maybe do a kind of intellectual understanding and explanation, but you cannot really experience and describe the actual experience without gaining that realization first. And that's where when in the Buddhist sutras, when they explain about Dharmadhatu, emptiness and so on, they're kind of at some abstract level. But you're the one who, through your practices and realization, has to really get the real experience. And so they prefer to use the word inconceivable, indescribable, to leave it there, to just give you some kind of abstract level of understanding.
Chidawashin to Chutuya Maris, Tombani Seti, Ombi Maris, Ishigi Shibege, Chidawashin to my Kaya
Shibe Dotu Maris,
Kayan Chidawashin,
or Chidawashin, Ishigi Shibe,
Shira Paruchis,
Maji Ishigi Shibege, or Yeshi Mem, Yishi
Shibege,
or Lolos.
Did Susuki Murida,
Lolos.
Palm to Indugusum to Torva, Chidawashin to Tos. Susuki will be Chidawashin to Ton, Matos. Who could Dunjita then thought we are. Dunjira Chili, some any thought we are Mishuchi, Chambato to him, Marchesant and the some to me was yet Chidawashin.
So when we talk about the emptiness or Dharmadhatu, all these kind of beyond the samsara phenomena, usually inconceivable because we cannot really gain the detailed understanding through our senses. They are unspeakable because they are not subject to our kind of immediate faculties. Even our kind of the mental faculties are not able to realize the direct realization of emptiness. What we usually do is we have some kind of a vague, and I wanted to use the word abstractual, but I guess this does not exist. The vague understanding, or at abstract level, we can infer, right? We can infer the meaning. Or infer. We can infer the meaning of the emptiness and the Dharmadhatu. At best, we can maybe kind of do a little bit more detail to a kind of limited experience. But to fully and to really have a direct realization of emptiness, and you require trainings. And when you're able to fully realize emptiness, then you can say, you can talk about emptiness, you can explain them in detail. But until you really reach that level, what we really do is we say the emptiness or Dharmadhatu is inconceivable for ordinary beings. They're unspeakable for unspeakable or unspeakable for ordinary beings, because we haven't really have the direct experience of it. And so when we say, this is very important, when we say the emptiness and the Dharmadhatu is inconceivable, of course we are talking about ordinary person, an untrained or at kind of the practitioners. But for the Aryas or for the Buddhas, someone who attained enlightened, of course they can talk about it because they had the experience of it. So you cannot just say emptiness is inconceivable, but you have to say for the ordinary being it's inconceivable. For us, ordinary being is something we cannot explain in detail. But that doesn't mean for Arya, someone who had a realization, of course they can tell you. And Saji Peri Jojin Dam Jab Linjin Yin Gambayin Sange Shindu Mike Piwayin Toku Namda Shinla Tripa Shu
Mandela Kanya Dayani. So in the afternoon, we will also have a Q&A session, maybe during the second part of the afternoon session.
Tadi kuali son, lewat klik itu ada.
Gimana tu di kerja 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 jadi kita jadi sampai kerja sampai ngaji juga ni deh semua. Orang jadi jadi. Itu dah. Tadi ni kan ini here ndo 조금 되죠.
야, 진짜. 다다지 진짜.
전도하는 마이크폰.
다디 어디 다들어지 다 그래.
알았어.
나기 이 대서 진짜. 정말 손상됐다.
Can you read verse 90, please?
Beyond the hill, deep in power, and on the pockets, sense of power flag. Realizes you can see
다 디르벨 찾을 들
말을 나게 주유군에 대 광복군의 주민
어디 다디 지금바 남기 삼도 메버데 그래서는 나기 지도신도 저도야 말이스 본부시바기 유말이스 아니 토섬 금승이 시럽기 지도신도 또 말이스 어디 제다
in verse 90, basically, is still talking about this unique quality of enlightenment or Dharmadhatu. This is beyond a speech to describe the quality. This is beyond the senses to really observe this very unique quality. And also, you cannot really explain the quality of Dharmadhatu merely through hearing teaching, through reflecting and through meditation. You cannot really explain that. This is something you really have to get awakened to.
다들네 차지를 대배 유민세들이 이러봐.
쉽시치. 저용어디 그래디 주고대 측지인데 또 돼야 된다. 림기 주고 로니기 있었어. 고고지.
림지 주고 로니 치세시도 그래.
한데도 나하고 주일에 원국군 주민 제가 이게 시베 독차와 강야중의 창제 디사와 다고주고지대 안데지도 제세디나 원구르 차 창샘 내용의 교수체 사딜야 링부주고 롱이기 상계 세부 착신나 최고진기 이 시기 춘유 동부통 교르네스. 고지.
되네. 찾으세요. 뒤뜰에 있어. 되나?
맞아 지금 내 맞다. 관단이 더 그렇게
찾을特别 유명세지.
자나를 민도를 민도가 박자 되게 시차 소환 등기 박자네 최부터 다가나 과리아 니모 박자 거디 시차로 이 시차는 나 주스
대대대디 스타디 다숨바 숨스타 옹구르아부 게레틸레 옹구르 토베 틸레 틸레가 시셔부터 담부 꾸르자 셈다바 주바스제 세르쳔부 옹구르 스제 세르쳔부터 당 꾸르꾸르사 다데네 림지 주베 루니기 데레베 자와
어디를
상계세부 자진은 취기된시 시스 통준의 간제심내를 두베 크레슬레 대준의 지제 다사람 림기 주베 루 나르템바니 취신도 슈시 트베 토베 게베세부 스타텐데디 림기 세아디 사달람기 림기 주베스 루 나르템바니기스 취신도 생아르템바디 임바타 사주부디 림기야티 제송하나 어디 제세 상계세부스드 전주sembal스기 상계세부 상계 탐지기 나베 잡아침부진 전주sem바티스 상계세부 상계 탐지기 잡아 나버디 거래에서는 전주sem발이시게 전주sem바 사주 주여바 림지 주베 루니기 상계세부 자진남 세아디 전주sem바 상계기 잡아침부 진 지고야 일단 전주sem바 남세다사 담분에 사주베 바데스게레 다 다진 전주sem바 남기 사라주 주바추기 딩기 이시 톱네 이시 딩이기 충이 오다다 상계세부 다진남 서바 다진남
최고진기 이 시기
다 최기딩기 사주바 최기딩기 이시디기 아니 충용무슨도 통네 디게진 이버들라니 디 가제심니 랍두게 코에 세블레 데규르네스 디네 게진 이버들라니 코에 세블레 퀄리 조레시아 진 동 주부딩기 이시디 춘이 동이 춘이 동반이 조바르 통어 유네 강게스 셈니 디말한바 말려바 주베 다바티스 나데 셈니 다바시아티 게지니버텔다 딱 사주베 이시디 년부터봐 오늘 기년부터제 디게 아니 디만 말려바 주네스 다바디 첸다 다바디 첸 산지 주고 토르바 오다 다바 심기 디만 말려바 다바라 주디 다바디 코에 동네게 세레 대바주네 셈바티달라 산게스 디네스 셈바티달라 산기고 온코라 토바리 세르치시샬
And now can you read verse 91 and 92, please?
The illustrious heirs of the Buddha, by following path step by step, the primordial awareness of the 10 causes of karma mind has utterly been cleansed, sorrow's cage confined with broken through. These will then assume their rightful place on wondrous lotus flowers.
And so this is quite straightforward, basically saying that by really practicing the gradual or the step-by-step approaches, we step into the booming from first to the 10. And when we really cross the 10th bhumi, we already become the heir to the Buddhas, heir of the Buddhas, basically talking about the Bodhisattvas. And so we become Bodhisattvas, and by really practicing these boomings step by step. And here we're following the gradual approach. And when we do that, then, we, in the 10th bhumi, we cleansed and we purified, in other word, both the affliction and their disease. And nothing is really left to be cleansed at that stage. At the same time, we accumulate a lot of merit, and we have, create the necessary conditions for full enlightenment. And having done that, with the meditation on emptiness, we reached to beyond the samsara. And then verse 92, because we practiced wisdom emptiness, we generate the merits through practicing the method. And combination of the two, we really been totally cleansed. And we really broke the cage of the samsara. And thus we attain the full enlightenment. 상계 구토브레스 당의 상계 구토브레스 같은 상물로 다 제제
어디다 다들 상계 구토브레스 다들
디브들레서 니 단데 제세죠 봐 강세심 니 럽주베 코에 세블레 대 균내서 봐
아리
근데 배만 준비를 시게 때나 되는 럽내서 디 배만 준비를 시게 게매라
네 샤다디 배만 준비다 디오들 배만 준비를 시게 배만 준비를 시게 템바디니 땡라디니 랍네 줄 다마 린지 도메그 데버르제 신주진 배만 지와 도메이 배만 나바군도 형수거를 시작하지 사주도를 전주선배들은 다디 배막이 땡기디 계절의 지시인스레 알레 어디 싫은 저어디.
And then can you read verse 93, please?
Utterly surrounded on all sides by lotus flowers and the trees showing down tantalizing antlers that leaves the light and
다들이 다다네 단데 사주바디 산제 탐제그 세 침부 온구로 들어봐 온구가 터바디 데마타도 되네 그래서 그래 전주 선배 땡인데 그 지와타 제바메바 온구와 토마타도 동숨 지와 제베 야다 냠바 빼마 침부를 보지 배 도메 제베 된당 디코르도 동숨 냠바니 제 빼마 지와 터지스 다디 빼메 땡기 계주를 지혜인스레 땡기 다산게 사주발레네베 전주선바디 전주선바디를 산게 탐지고 스침부 온구와 디세나 아니 동승기 지역에 배 제베다 빼마 침부치제 디빼마디야 콜 빼마 저 콜들 빼마 저 터디 나 강원 나무스 디니 땡들라 삼신 땡들라 삼신 겐도 바바 네발레 코르기 베말레 구바 맹게다 코르기 베말레 스타사 주바티기 티제네 사쿠바 맹기 장셈 슈베스 다 코르기 베마도 술라 다 기기 베마 담마 쳔부들다 자세 사주바티제 온구르스가 상자탐지기 요새쯤에 온구르스기 사주바티제 디 코르기 베마 mambu yarba 디 사주바 메제기 사구바 메제기 장셈남 슈베 코르디 디브레낭스다 코르 틴데스 디브레스제 자세디 샤기 장셈디기다 사주바와디기 샤기 티니제 베멜랑아니제 데와제 아니 집로제 차디니 스타디 레시톤다 주메 림바신도 다 리주 다디네 사주바와디 리주게 심제가 된지도 잠바 아니 시합기 티니제 딘 베멜랑아니제 데와제 집로제 차기 티니제 다딜레 세파도 메버트 렘바신도 냐와제 든주제 이다제 미제 하제 라마니스 네 탐절은 나올 전에 동해시월 제도스 다디 다딘지 주신지 되나
어디 저 하루 왕구리야 시고르가
그래 진짜 단다 왕구리 톱세송아 디되들
아네
사주바들 장슴 사주바 지단전에 장슴 사주바들 다자고 돈바디 사주바도 티버침을 남게 투명을 남기들 사주발라틴 차 사주베 내가 수니 나도 온구야
사주벌이야
아니 드네 제사 파지티브 랑랑기 상게 미투세티 다자가 돈바디 사주바도 페 파지티브라는 데네 사주베네 아니 나가 온구 드네 주세는 림바시바 된게 세트네 야초베 인자
어디 손주자마 디날이야 전에디 응아 송도가 공원 불베고
레 드네네 아니 토라를 뭐바주 상게 그래 온구토네 사주베는 그 온구 아니 토라한테는 뭐바주 상게 그래 다디디 온구디 잠바 전주 semba 사주바디 베마가 조들이쇼 코르베마 mambu yerba 전주 semba 사구바 멘체티쇼 되네 디차차 주점바 아니 상계기 사주바레네 전주 sem바디 라이팅이 또 세세 바드메버트 리두그 심제 탐젤 된제 되는 폰에 심제 탐지 동에서 그렇지 어디 단데 뱀에 침부셔야 돼.
So verse 93 from the line third, I'm following the Tibetan translation, so sometimes it doesn't exactly correspond to the line numbers in English translation. Here in the 93, there says, by lotus flowers, many tens of millions, each endowed with their tantalizing unders, they leave light with many precious gems. Then you condition the Buddhas with the 10 powers. I repeat, their fearless sets of other minds at ease. Their qualities are inconceivable from simplicity to domain. Oh, sorry. Going back 92, because in the 92, so in the 92, the Tibetan translation, in the line third. Is the by the nature of the great lotus, the direct translation. So here, 92, it says what? There are 10,000 the river plus open. Yes, upon a wondrous lotus flower seed, then you go up, these will then assume the rightful place. And this is talking about the Tantrayana or Vajrayana. As you know, we are following this tradition with the Parasanghika school of thought. And according to the Parasanghika school of thought, the individual practitioners, they practice the 10 bhumis purely based on kind of a sutra. Kind of sutra meaning non-tantra. So you practice, the first bhumi, move to second, until the 10th bhumi, we literally practicing sutra or the great perfection of sutras and the prajna sutras basically. And then once you really reach to the 10th bhumi, that you cleansed all your the self-grasping mind, and you fulfilled all these kind of other wonderful qualities, and then it is said in that bhumi, then the individual practitioners will see Buddha, and they really initiate you into Tantrayana. And so in that, this is also in line with the Mahayana description of Buddha Shakyamuni's enlightenment. They say until the 10th bhumi, Buddha, practiced a sutra for 3 aeons, and then at the latter part of the 10th bhumi, that Buddha is, initiated into Vajrayana teaching, and then, he basically attained further realizations. And so now this is describing that mode. And you can see in the translation that 92, and these will then assume the rightful places after you cross the samsara, after the samsara's cage confinement is broken. And after we, as Rinpoche mentioned, that after we liberated ourselves from the samsara and attained the enlightenment, then we further go through tantra initiations. Here saying these will then assume the rightful place. You're talking about the place upon a wondrous lotus flower seed. So where this is describing the the palace or the glacial settings where you have the lotus seed, and then go to 93, utterly surrounded all sides, so that like ourselves or the Buddha Shakyamuni when he was in the 10th bhumi, by many millions of lotus flowers each endowed with tenderness, and so Rinpoche said basically you have the the individual who already reached to the 10th bhumi at the center of the lotus, and then many other bodhisattvas who reach up to the 9th bhumi. You are surrounded by them and receiving the full initiation, and then you receive the full initiation, and your light is going out of your body and going into the lower realms, the human realms, and cleansing the sentient beings, helping them for transformation. And this is what the description is here in the 93, each endowed with eternal unders, and their leaves are light with many precious gems. Tene guju goshi sunga marwa tene tondo desu topju ale.
Da topju se te legito.
Ane tame rinjiru. Ta dibdo lesun tanda guju gosum jorba.
Ale.
Guju gosum gi di pema chewa tome yi annamu gundu yongs gosi. Ta sange ranjorba. Dilya ane di tanda sa gububdo lengyo da changsep diga sangme ta gorje de.
Ale.
Ane sange ya ta ane sange shenpa ga wangur. 한국인의 외투에 되게 바지 신경 명다지 심지어도 다고체.
네네.
무슨 거를?
네네.
다디 차네?
다디 차네. 디니마.
그거 무슨 게 지다 그러고.
다디네.
다디나마 나 원국을 세우더라.
다디네.
저데. 콘조디 신두어 다디네 파조데 나게 원국다는데 시고를 선두거라.
디는 신이다. ongur tomne da karchigia resena
Lolos.
tati dinimes ongur tomsen tomne dine sange brava
Lolos.
sange byensa tatine tanda di dobju seya de kwatal
고주고시 때 dobju boy 용스 칸
다니발라니 ongur tobe yundesje larikese namla onguwa usje 다 사주바들 ongu토베 연대 가리아레스네 디아레스제 라야 게세 남라 on구르와스 랑기 게세 남라 on구와스기스레 다디나네 당부데 on구르와 토베 연대디 도주 보이 용수강 미지바이 강다공 사미케베 상계추 드면 남래 냠맹아 스타트네 가레 온구 톰네 디네 윤데 가레 토브레스나 아니 상계바티스네 톱주스 미지바시 세르바 상계게 툼만 베인데들라 사미 시티쟁이 지세차리 디나네 톱주토 미지바시 토브레스 onkurwa tobe sajubabe jansemdi laralana mebe janju nyedis ta topchani yende garinye beresenetine lana mebe janju nyeberes kubandi nyeberes
다 탐제 김be 고반이 그래서
다 탐제 김be 고반이 beres
한테 이 rum지기 년을 상계고 구톱 년을 전부다 아 상계고 구톱서 상계시 상계보다 라나메베 고반 토니 돈다 찍으래 말해
네네네 찍을
올스 또 전에 된기 원구모도 권 상계요 말봐
야 말해
올스
다 온구 차스네 온디 사주베네 그 스쿠버바
올스
다 온구 톰네티네 그 연대 가르중을 했으네 아니 또 주민지 버실어서베 연대 삼비 미지바 미지베 상계기 추 디 토버레스
올스
대야 온구로 토베 사주베 전주sembe 자셈디 타랄라네메베 전주니에 데스 털르르 뒤좀 발라서베 dob주스 달dob주스 dob주야레 주용수 강신 란드 방바 푼도 담자바 현등이 니주 슬람 바제기 추 담자바 시디 또 미지바 시세 란드 방바 푼도 담자바라 민시 현드 tilya pinzo damjabala mishi baje gu chu damjabala mijis dadi mijiba shiyare adi tobari isje samgi mijiba sangi gu chu druba dang semeba nam tomne tobane ma tobe kone nyamba minga us dadi toba yensani ma tobe kone nyamba di minga dadi 상계가 듣고 봐 냠바 터버려 상계 탐제 냠바 터버려 봐 어때들이 다 단데디 치디 다디딘데 슈션디
so please can you read 94 So in the 10th Bhumi, we have cleansed the affliction and the seeds, and on top of that, then they were initiated into full enlightenment, and the result of that, they attained full enlightenment in 10th Bhumi, and so. It talked about what is the benefit of receiving that initiation in the verse 94, in verse 92 and 93, there was how they were initiated into, surrounded by the, tens of thousands of, bodhisattvas, the individual who attend up to the 10 bhumi were initiated. And once he initiated, then he or she also kind of the natural kind of light goes back and purify and cleans the other sentient beings. And then what happens is, having initiated into this the doctrine or the qualities, you attain the 10 powers. In 94, they said the Buddhas with the 10 powers. Basically, this initiation, kind of gives you these 10 powers. Are you familiar with the 10 powers, right? Maybe Lorik, if you remember what are the 10 powers, you can just read them quickly. Can you? Yeah.
The power of knowing the sources and non-sources. The power of knowing the results of karma. The power of perceiving the various inclinations of living beings. The power of knowing the various constituents of existence. The power of knowing the higher and lower faculties of sentient beings. The power of knowing all the paths. The power of knowing all the meditative stabilizations, absorptions, liberations, concentrations, and so on. The power of knowing previous lives. The power of knowing death and rebirth. And the power of knowing the extinction of the contaminations.
So this initiation really provides you that kind of 10 powers, and also the four the mijikpa, for fearlessness. Do you have that as well? Please, I don't have it here. Because the top the mijikpa sheet my lower.
In terms of their own welfare, a Buddha has completely abandoned all obstructions. In terms of his own welfare, the Buddha has attained all the realizations of directly knowing all phenomena. In terms of others' welfare, desire and so forth are the obstacles to liberation, and the obscurations to omniscience are obstacles to enlightenment. In terms of others' welfare, realization of the Four Noble Truths and so on is the path to liberation and enlightenment.
And so without initiation, you attain these qualities, and thus you are totally cleansed and attain the full enlightenment. By then you already crossed the 10th bhumi, and you become a full Buddhahood, or fully enlightened beings. This one.
Nyala karma yi kurdu namba kungi korus tatine lunga yi ji de longju namba taba karwe les ta sunum da yishigi chote sunum da yishigi chorab tu zoba yin res zoba yin san dawa nyala se din dawa nyala se di chen sambutan sumju zangi de peje sambu gejugi kembe gutiche ani nyagawa tabu dawa nyagawa tabu guti sa sanji gutiche chen sambu sumju zangi de peje sambu gejugi sanji gutiche ani karma se ade karma de khorna bataba karme chodabe number kundu kore
the changes symbol
chetumbas chilendebe chini study sange barba
no kama the changes symbol
da changes symbol nas kor changes symbol nas she ani chetumbas dinala nyawata kor the number kungi kor study kor dinge kor as che study badu.
Can you please read verse 95? Through excellently practiced no path, they have gathered in the ground wisdom full, so they are like the harvest moon and high, surrounded by its cord, the clustered stars. So basically now, having accomplished all the kind of attainments, you are fully kind of fully awakened. and that's what you become. And as a result, and you are surrounded by the bodhisattvas, like you are the full moon, you are like the 15th day full moon, surrounded by all the stars, all the bodhisattvas, and you start now benefiting other sentient beings. You have become the source of happiness for all other sentient beings. So that's in essence what it's talking about. Jason.
Niba Jezabdu Onkuru Setita Sanjay Dambu Lungung or Sanjay Verba Lungung Sanjay and Haibu Dambato Gavseti any Kandegi de Denji Dile Haibu Dambato Gavseti Ditinima Zabajungi Zambulin Zabajungi Tenga Petu Ni Haibu Dambato Gabu Gets of the Gets Jambagumbo Hai Kandegi Hai Gets of Lugoverba
Lolos. The Sangye Jumde de Tajikma
Sange ni Kandegi Haibu Dambato Gabu Singiti.
The Yaw Chamberba.
The Dim and the Dambato Gabuti Tandati. 다자고 덤바게 꾸지 집어제
로로스
팀 간덴 마 잡을리 잡아중이 땡가 패고라
로로스
도지되나 로로스 어디 산기벤 잡았던가 피도 좀 계속 잠바 공부티티 계속도 온구하라
계속 잠바
다디
로로스
온구단디 담보하이 부담도 가보세요
로로스
Timan Javachungi Tenga Indu Kandegi Tenjing Kandegi Jezabdi Tambuti Hai Tambato Gabuseti Kandegi Gabutri Thai Gabuti Tukura Zambulin to Javachungi Tenga Pedu Jezabji on Gurba. Oh, that Jezabam Dirba. Jezabdi, Jesu Jambagumburba, Tadi Unkurdanti Sigari. Tadi Unkurdanti never Jesse Jezabdu Unkuas, the Jesu Jambagumburba. Tadi Kuadi Sange Chagi, Nimater, Timid Rinji, Bargurdi. Segi to Ongurve, Onguru and Kundutul, she did that Mumbata Sangeni, Zabatile, Patu me meki, so Chujukule, Mayuar, Womitu, Lonjutu Bekur, Danging, Tele gave Tuba Candetu, Tambato Gabutabur Tambatan. Tele put in Zambulin to Homes Jubala Subenzava, Sangi Mijava, Pue Tomara, So Jamba, Jambe Jur, Terror, Mumbai member Seve Chani, Rimbuchi, Baratabu, De Shane, Jamba, Segitu, Ongura, Umbarko, Ongura, Zoatabu. Kundu Sambu Juru Shagdi Onguru Tabu Stadi Tadi Tajagatumba Mitumba to Sanke Tadi Tapina Sat Tajagatumba Tumba the Kujibe Sachuba Jerva Sachuba de Onkur Latini Taz Sanke Verba. So me to Sanke ni Tubachi, Candid Hype Tumbato Setiche. Tadi Hype Putambato Kabuti, Zambulin to Zavachung to Tenga into, gets up Chambakumbuti, gets out to Kua, Unkuas. What that did and they did, Sikti Timberes, Sange Chani. Sanjay Chagi Nimater Rinji, Jimmy Rinji Bargurti, Segitu Onguruani, Kundutul, Savadat and the Gets of the Onguju Chevres.
So, verse 96, please.
With a hand in like the sun, you hold the Father's hand in light and this is the enlightened one and powers the most senior heirs. This is how the shame is the greatest of them all.
So in this verse, basically, it's describing having attained full enlightenment. Now, because once you attain full enlightenment, your potentials, your qualities become inconceivable. There are a lot of things now you can do to help the sentient beings. One of the qualities you can manifest yourself into thousands. You can. So what Buddha Shakyamuni did is that once he is fully enlightened, that he appointed as part of his manifestation. Now you can spontaneously raise into different beings. You have that inconceivable qualities. So first you appointed one kind of your manifestation as appointed as the heir to the his I don't like to use the word kingdom, his heavenly abode. So he appointed a heir to the abode, and that heir actually then so as part of the fully enlightened beings, you appointed one, you manifested one of you became the abode of the heavenly abode, and then that individual really came to samsara and among the sentient beings to help the sentient beings. So this is where we talk about the Buddha's 12 deeds. When he first took the deeds of rebirth in samsara, in a worldly realm, and then he went through all this circle of the 12 deeds. And so the background to these is according to the Parasankika or the Mahayana belief that Buddha Shakyamuni is already enlightened being, and he came to this world born as born to this Indian kingdom. He did that deliberately to help the sentient beings, to teach the Dharma. And then a slightly different version is for other schools who believe Buddha come as an individual or ordinary beings and who went through the training and attained enlightenment. So we are following this Mahayana teaching. So Buddha went through this practice of the 10 bhumis. He attained full enlightenment. And one of the qualities of the full enlightenment you can manifest. Right? And having reached to that level, the 10th bhumi now, across the 10th bhumi, you manifested and came to this world to teach and help the sentient beings. So that's the Buddha Shakyamuni.
Tatine Nanjo Chembu Terene Mombe Membe Jitenam Tungi Jing Jibala Hai Jengi Sijune Dile Gule Di Gule Serenam Beva Meba Jungyote Mombe Member Shudi Gonam Zebain Tatine Nejo Chimboten Sinejo Chidan Ninjur Sia the Shila Sundi La Shila Sundi La Tobia Kansatil Nejo Vasigivre Nejor Sia the Nelmata Chorosia Cherva Nelis December Simtiji Barche Chorosia to Hautonche Nejor City Shila Sundi Tobe Gansachil Nejo Basigirva. Just a Nejo Telenene said nenjo chimbo tere nene sete shila sungri nenjo chimbo tela nene mombe memba shuba yes ta zikar sure ngaranzo jiten mombe memba shuba saranzo semje namje mombe memba le shuderba maribe momba ni kita ondo son de yerba momba mariba ni ondo soni shubatel konam jebarin zebayis ani beba meba chungkyuti wesigi kule wesituni beba meba chungkyuti momba shubati konam jebarin ani chegyo seri chöteni tabe go jebari serchi la
상계 제부 송도 왔다 상계 준비의 릉이 다
마베자니 마베 상계는 제바데 안에 뒤전함나 쳐되니 몸배 슈변함나 쳐되니 아니 시와 탈배 고쳐버렸어요.
And can we have a verse 97 and 98 please?
Suffering for frightened distress, and having seen them like rays upon shine without restraint at all, and open up the gates there are for all, and wander in the most dark.
So this is quite straightforward. To start with the major yogis, and Rinpoche explained the yogis in Tibetan, Nanjor yogi, Nanjor. And so who's a yogi? What is a yogi? According to Tibetan definition of the yogis in that etymology, yogi is only referred to practitioners who attend all the concentration and the samadhi. All he who really kind of attend all the qualities of the samadhi first, and then secondly, he also overcome all the delusions and the ignorances who really perceive emptiness correctly. And these individuals called the yogis. So yogi is someone who masters the concentration and who also penetrated in the wisdom of emptiness, who gained all these qualities you needed for emptiness, and that's the yogis. So it's describing the Buddha. We could say Buddha Shakyamuni or any Buddha, that Buddha we become in the future, or our future Buddha, that we attend these single-pointed meditation powers and using that penetrating wisdom. Once we attend that, we attend and then initiation, so on, attend enlightenment. And then we now come down to, the samsara, really we retake birth as an ordinary being, according to the need of the sentient beings, and come to help sentient beings. So this is the two verses basically talking about the deeds of the Buddha. When you attend fully, first you attend all these qualities, and then you come down and to teach and help the sentient beings attend these wonderful qualities. Well,
다 쉐베 네바 구지 스르베
냥에 굴레 오스 어디 올라 잡으러 다 디르셔로 학제 냥에 대번남 하미 냥에 대버드스
스르바
되니 냥에 대번이 드메메 버셈 규바오스
다티네 하제 냥데 하미 냥데 데스 다 데네 스르바 하제냥의 대번은 하미냥의 대버드 제자디 드리베 치디
그래라 하제냥의 대번남 하미냥의 대버드 디르니냥의 대번이 틈메버sem
셈 그바오 델라냥의 대바야
디르니 냥의 대번이 틈메버sem그바오 스셈도 틈메버 차브레시스
Adi. 양한데 집에서 시에서 단디근데스네 시월에 내버 그주 안에 시월에 내버 그주 스타트 단다 시원양 냐랑기 장주들이 시와 초집에 대세들시게르바 이 딜라 다 냥을 대주 대바들 구주 세딩 버려 하제 냥에 대바남 하메 냥에 대바드스 다 담불 하제 냥데 세제레 품불하마 동네 품불하마 대제베 냥데 돈내야 땡들 나를 레니 중국에 풍부디 된라니 타버터 버봐
로로스
타버트도 좀 받들 하제 냥데 세제레 타버들
풍부디딩을 터버데 한 풍부디딩을 냥데 톰도 돈도 무투 다가 내야
되네 다 소화 자좀부터 소화 가두도 아니 삼미 냥데 터버리 디글라 냥데 야르바 풍부매지 타바지 야리디 나르기 레니 중국에 풍부디야 말이
풍부요
다 그래서는 디 다베신도 빼면 부수 이기란 신글 주장스 즐기를 받아 다베신도 대화진 도수를 깨버리나 근데 자좀 받지
항미를 봐
항미리 동행하기 레니 중국에 풍부를 하마디 레데버티 바 매버제브르바 소원가도 아니 그 주진양데 상민양데 시해래
로로스当然저 학제냥데 제비는 상계 좀 돼도 학제냥데로야
어레레 네 다드네 드닝이랑 티범에 바 제비는 상계 좀 돼디 냥에 만데봐도 학제냥들이네 되시래 냥에 인도 하면냥데 시해봐
로로스
만남도기는 상계 좀 돼디 동네 풍부터 마제스틱 주벨류 인식을 봐. 상계티 동네 풍부야 말했던데 티벌 멤버잖아. 그딴데 상마제부터 수수께부 인자래. 도지된도 상계부 제바 마틴바도. 먼저디 도지된도 상계부 제바 마틴군에 상계부 차려봐. 티벌 친구이나. 디네 우민리 상계 디네 하이부터 담부터 가버리게 와시 디네 마일 홍수 제가 홍수 집에 제가 템버바 제가 템버리 미슈지 오늘 마이님 등에 좀 잔이 슈야 말바
로로스
어디들이 저서 다들 디버트모 하잖아 다자고 돈바티 상 양알이 만데봐도 하제ኛ들네 냥알레 데바디스나 라메냐데 토브레
So here having attained full enlightenment and then you come take a birth and come and help the sentient beings, and then when we talk about that kind of attainment, the enlightenment, or sometimes here the word they use is a nirvana, attaining nirvana. There are two types of attaining nirvana. This is why I'm going with the Rinpoche. First is the nirvana with a reminder, and then the other is nirvana without a reminder. Is this clear to you if I just follow this translation? Just keep it simple since you have the text. So nirvana without a with the reminder is that you attain a human birth, and you as a human being, and when you attain the nirvana within this kind of body or aggregates, pumpo, and that's called the nirvana with the reminder. Because you still have the body and you attain the nirvana, basically, and then other type of nirvana is that you attain nirvana without having a body, without having the flesh body. You maybe born in some kind of other realms, other higher realms, and in Dewajen, or like and you already been attained a higher birth, such as in the realm of Sugata, right? One of the realm, Sugavadi, Dewaje. Say you attained birth in Sugavadi, and then you continue practice, attain full enlightenment. So that enlightenment is called enlightenment or nirvana without a reminder. And you attain human birth, and you practice, and at the end of the your life, you attain enlightenment. That's called the nirvana with a reminder. So they're describing these two types of the enlightenment here. So this is the 99, those who have reached nirvana with a reminder. That's like Buddha Shakyamuni or ourselves. If we attain enlightenment in this life, this becomes the nirvana with a reminder, right? And believe they have reached nirvana. There's no nirvana that reached in this traditional thing. Then, 학제 양대는 하민 양을 대버 되어서 저봐. 단지 혼자 학제의 양대다 하민 양대는 되셔 개비. 단지 디치디나 단지 가르서 디나 당구들 학제 양대 디게 하민 양대를 디가서래.
하진연대디 담분 하진연대 터버리.
로르스.
네, 남민연대 터버리.
하민 근데 터버려.
자주부터 소원 가르듯이 남민연대 터버리.
당가란도 배차샤면 더 배창가란도를 차샤면 당가란도 세딜야
세딜야 자주부 거버시토.
다분히 딜하제 양대지.
딜하제 양대리 동이 풍부대 도래야 말을 받단다.
로르스.
다 체페르도 잠바 동이 풍부대 도래래.
로르스.
다 그 풍부링야디 등이 풍부링이야 말이야. 다 좀 터져봐. 다 사미기 유치는 게야.
로르 사미도 로르스.
디네 디 등이 풍부 괜찮 그래.
And so Rinpoche also said here that we have to, according to the Nagarjuna in the text here, and he's explaining that we all have to go to both the nirvana with a reminder and the nirvana without a reminder, according to Nagarjuna's view. And that, for example, we attend nirvana. This is not full enlightenment, liberation, nirvana we're talking about. So we attend liberation in this life. It's a nirvana with a reminder because we attend this. And then, because although we attend nirvana, we still have the body, a functioning body, right? And when we abandon this body and take another sangmi, is uncontaminated body. What is it? Sangmi? Uncontaminated. That's how I used before, but sometimes people say this is basically. We have this kind of 5 aggregates, and we attend nirvana. It's called nirvana with a reminder. We still have the body to take care of. Then, when we leave the body behind, and we already kind of attended the liberation, we are not going to take birth again. Or we're not going to born again in samsara because we already cross the samsara. And what we do is we end up attaining some uncontaminated, like a body into which our spiritual being are born. And so we still have to do that. When we do that, that's called the nirvana without a reminder. Let's say that difficult so the capture the talk should talhakje nyang deb nam hangmin nyang deb de che di so den nyang deb ni thme me sem gyu bo so di den nyang deb ni
den nyang deb ni thme me be sem server
thme me be sem gyu ba wo
thme me be sem gyu ba wo da di 라미년대 터버디체나 디맘메베 셈규르바시 임브리 하제디 라미디 양갈레 데바디체나 네 dimame besim seta tikaras kure memo bapan tsareba di sem kiruwa siteta dine 사제 그르단디 시험인데
Lawless.
니치딩아 din이마서
So Rinpoche is saying that Nagarjuna is describing, he's now after describing Nirvana, and there are two types of Nirvana. We have to go through both Nirvanas. One is, if we attain Nirvana in this body, we still have the body to take care of this Nirvana with the reminder, we still have the body. Then when we abandon and take these uncontaminated bodies, then we're going through the nirvana without the remainder. And when we do that, this is the next alliance. The nirvana that is reached in this tradition, once we reach to this nirvana without the remainder, and then we basically freed our mind from any kind of flaw, and our mind has become stainless. In Tibetan, it's timime, become the stainless, but this is different from the Burmese. It's basically our mind has become so pure that we're no longer going to take birth in physical form. As a result, we no longer suffer. We no longer go through birth, aging, death. Right? And so that's where we become free from any flaws. And so this is what it's describing. And Rinpoche did do so.
That is, the
Lawless.
디두게를 치기두게.
텐데지도 다디 표진 제마르 시그메도 야면은 신제군 공무에 배병어 티엔 대주유.
대자성에 치기 디나라. 디니냥은 대바니 제마메베 셈기르바. 신제군 공무에 디데마 마자시샤.
네, 모두도.
다디 디기도.
네, 지금 왜 셈교스니 맞아지. 레스.
디니냥은 대바니 제마메베 셈기르바 호스. 다 신제군 공무에베 모디양 디주유. 델라테네 수구 다디스드마 장주선바 다디네 수기구 로든제주사다 수기구 로든제두디 대통 장주 장생 셈옹부 안에 신도 디마 메베구 시자데 냐랑길 하제 냐데디 냥데 칭이바 마이 다드네 덴데디 냐랑길 하제 냥 하제 하미기 냐데디 냐데 칭이바 마리
니졸로
마이스 냐데 칭이바 지다부시나 티바 침비 냥데 냐데바 가이바 루부기티마 참무다 제바 탐제 님부 이식이 좀네 매버기에 최기고다 이식이 다니도 교바 냥데 이라 등문도 교르네 심제 넘버 2 티징이 다티네 야리 님두게 하면년데다 년데 토바티스네 년데 토바 마레스 가레스네 냥데 투지 냥을 데바세티 단다 외도에 세판에 님마다와 메네시아제레 디디 외도에 세판에 티바침비 디 람디 밤바 인사 티바침 멤버라니 니마디 냥데를 샤니 냥데디 따와 미니스지디 티밀레 냥데 친이바 메스 람 냥데 친이바데 미네베 냥데스야지 시신이게 타는 미네베 냥데스야지 어디 토부야리 서다티 딘데야리티 단다티 디 레다웨스 바네니 니마타와 미니티스 세디 냐라 냥데 야마리 신이바 야마리 세지 다디가르 냥데 신이바 가르 센데 티징 미네베 냥데 신이지 시신이게 탈 미네베 지마탄 참못한제 빵바치 단다디 민디 빵바리 미쇼시 시르밤 빵야 마르바 다디 단데디 어디 되게 된다디다 사미인라 네디자 대다경 미시 녀무 미야치 치니 상계 꾸네니 전주도네 초사디 대안지대 잼바 바베치 상계 실꾸네 티바침벌 슈트 섬제기 된제가 있거든 디르 냥데 냥을 대바니 제마메바 섬주르에 섬제 군기 메베 오디야 주 대주 델라테네 수구 도든제 대통 전주 선바 온부진 냐랑게 라미 냥데티 냥데 친이바 마임분나 냥데 친이바 지다바 인신나 티바 침부티니 냥을 대바 강이바 루부기 제마 참모당 제바 탐제 냠부 이식이 좀네 매바교에 셈 꾸다 이시기 당이도 주반 냥을 대바 인라 대문도 줄베 셈제니 심제 꾸인지 삼바다 tumba 티베 림바 지다 신도 다다다기 소소 매바다 치료기 때 매바 송지금 뭐 매바 소 대다 주 수장 삼바 나저바 티토네 삼바다 tumba 취 땜베 민주는 거지 전주 선배 온부디 초 된담 전주게 셈 된담 전주게 셈 송디도 송주도 신도 대만매베 매발 교반이 취직구디 세외 담발레 대신이 야다베 이시게 산도 매바 대만매베 취직구라 저도 어떠디르시 단디디르시 단 그래서 단 디나를 자와디나를 디두가 자와디두가 디나를 자와치를 전에 인도라 냥에 대가 친배 매스 두가 민두가 아래는 근데
이거 저기도 와 이는 민두 아래 냥네 대바나 하미 냥네 대버도 직시 되는 냥에 대바니 치매매버 섬교서 다 치매매버 차버 제가 디지모데 야탐데 선제군공을 매배서도 어디 대주유 대동 전주 선무왕부 신도 지미 최고 고스 그걸 이시게는 내가 언제나
아니요 단디샤
저거도
더더면 단디샤에 뒤쳐도 말로디 있으리 디나를 뒤도가 왠가 세숨 감숨니 겨와대야 예마이 사미인네 내 대다장 미시 녀무 미양 칠 친의 상계 군에니 스타디 디 멤버레 자지리 멤버레
저지면도
아네 단디샤
대 토지스 디나 진짜
네디디 자와디 디나네 자와디 차야디 가부도
이제 대도
I can maybe start talking what just Rinpoche said. So Rinpoche is using a commentary by a great Sakya scholar. He's reading, while teaching this text, Rinpoche is going through with the two commentaries. One is by Jizun Rendawa, who's the teacher of Lama Tsongkhapa, Sakya Rendawa, Shunu Lord And then Rinpoche is also going with another commentary by, I think again, by a Sakya teacher. And so in that section, they're talking about Nirvana and Nirvana with a reminder, Nirvana without a reminder. And then our scholar, the writer of the scripture, engaged into most expansive debate about what is Nirvana. And he's kind of basically going through a debate between the Theravada's version of Nirvana and the Mahayana version of the Nirvana, as Rinpoche was reading, and that the writer is really kind of arguing that what the Theravadas consider as a Nirvana is not Nirvana with a reminder, or not Nirvana without a reminder, because although you have cleansed to a certain degree of affliction and their roots. It's not kind of a full awakening. And to really attain full enlightenment or a proper kind of nirvana stage, you need to go more than just tackling subtle affliction. And so he argues that the Mahayana explanation and approach to nirvana is really sound, because then he goes with a number of points, and including that not only you kind of tackle the affliction and the realize the selflessness, at the same time you also work with the cleansing the obscurations to knowledge. And the author argues that I'm just summarizing the argument. The main the problem with the Theravada version of the Nirvana is it didn't really tackle the obscuration to knowledge. And this is what he's pointing to. Whereas the Mahayana kind of approach to enlightenment is not just removing affliction, but you not only kind of removing stain, but you're also increasing knowledge, if you like. I'm just doing literal. So, like when we say purifying or cleansing the obscuration to knowledge, meaning we are kind of awakening. This awakening aspect is awakening to wisdom. And the Theravada's kind of definition of nirvana is too limiting to just removing the affliction. So that's what Rinpoche was reading and tried to concentrate to get 예전에 군인일 단데 콘솔데데 시작해 다단데 디 rumbushi 드베드나 디송도 슬학제 냥데다 알항미기 냥데디 지금 베디 용스톡 베다 냥데 체니 전지 마레스 디카레스 다간다지 탱멜로 기타 제단지레스 그 택진로 가라서 냥데 제 인도 좀바 지기 아니 데 방바 마세지 시제 드베들레 밤고요레 그 탱멜로 려시엔데 녀모 드베드 방야 조시 시디 방야 시라시고 요마바 인디 아니 냥데 체니 전지 마레스 도션 되겠노 되게 다디제 다디네데네 다디 추구토주디 친차르다. So far we have described about how do we attend Dharmakaya. So that's all gone throughout this explanation. How do we attend Dharmakaya? That's the main discussions what we have been talking about for the last 2 days. 다디네 델레테네 수구 조든제주 세티 추구톰네 아니 수구 수지군이 여봐 수구군이부터 뒤제 된제 뒤 가리에서는 다단데디 아다니바니 제마메베 추주고레스 이시 자주 내주네스 다이 디제마메베 추구레 틸레주에 추니스 다디 지다진이 캠베 이시기 자주 내주베고네스 다 지다진이 캠베다 이시기 자주 이시 지다와 캠베 이시 진니바 캠베 이시디 내주네스 지다 수불에
수군이부터 이시 추부터 수구 수수 나와라 봐. 뒤제 뒤점바 수수 나네. 심제라는 게워도 침바 주변 나도 되네. 아니 라는 게 삼바도 좀 취규고로 거래해야지. 제만매베 취규고래 이시 자존 내주네 나도 너부 지신도 텔레 심제 되는데 다 제만매베 취규고래 틀에 주베치니 지다 진이 준비 이시 자주 그래 권에서 다 추근예베 권에서제 지야 넘버 메도 진배 좀 매봐 나도 이식이 너보다 바상이 신신도 다 이식이 너보세야 돼 디제로 공아지 매럼 담나 아니 롱주세 메시바 영야 된데 야르바 바상이 신세야 될 소았담나 아니 지랑기 심라카 반도 여버딩 그래서 제르바 디나 신제 디벨샤니 취주구 다젠레 수군이 사 추구딩이 저도 추구딩이 다긴 제네 아니 수군이 부디 롱구도 주군이제 롱구도 주군이 디게니 코아치스 마tun지 바도 주제 된제게르바 다디 수구디기 추군이네 수구비 된제단디 어디 단데디 저어디 바상 이식의 노부다 바상의 신신스 이시 자주 내주네 나도 노부 지신도 딜레 심제 데럽제세 뜻다디 추근이네 다단데디 되디 추구톱지디제 다 추근이네 니 수근이지 되든지디디 다단데디 지기디 아니 이시 추구톱찬이 이시 추구 다긴을 때니 수군 넘버 2 수군 넘버 2부터기 되지기 코아지지 마도 이부터 되지 된지 출된 백원이 된지 그리스 다지 수군이 되든 되지들이.
And can we have a verse 101, please? So in this verse, now it's describing, in the previous verses, we described about how do we attain Dharmakaya. What do we have to do? We have to practice the 10 paths and so on. And we attend the Dharmakaya. And in Dharmakaya, we talk about all these amazing qualities that we have attained. Now the verse 101 is talking about having attained the Dharmakaya. Now what do we do? And text the Nagarjuna saying we just simply trying to be there in kind of a purity. What we do now is to fulfill the need of the sentient beings. The question, how do we do that? Then using the Dharmakaya as a basis, and out of which we give rise to Rupakaya, the form body. And so when we divide between the Dharmakaya, the Chögyugu, and the Rupakaya, the Sogu, and so for the Rupakaya, there are two in the bodies. One is the Sambhokaya, which is the enjoyment body. And then the other types of the Rupakaya is the Nirmanakaya, which is the manifestation or the manifestating bodies, which is like a tulkut, reincarnation, and so on, belongs to that. So we have attained the Dharmakaya, and we totally fully attained all this, Dharmakaya, and now we out of that we give rise to Rupakaya. in forms of enjoyment body and in forms of a manifestating body, such as the reincarnation. And then we go back to samsara and help the sentient beings. So this is what the last verse is talking about. It says the Dharmakaya sin is all purity, meaning attaining all the aspects of the Dharmakaya, and then we transform this wisdom is transformed into the jewels. When we talk about a wish-fulfilling jewel, what does a wish-fulfilling jewel do? It's kind of fulfills the need of the patron or need of the sentient being. And likewise, once we attend the Dharmakaya, the sentient beings are praying, right? And they, wanted to end their suffering. And now we become the wish-fulfilling gem ourselves, and we manifest into other kayas, like the Nirvana kaya, which is the manifestation. So we manifest in different forms, in different realms of sentient beings to fulfill their need. What is their need? Ending suffering. And so through attaining Dharmakaya, we have really attained ourselves and become transformed ourselves like a wish-fulfilling gem. And in Indian mythology, they talk about the Baksamgi, the wish-fulfilling tree, right? And in which the individuals pray and they request met, and that's what we become. So the best way to explain and describe what is the Dharmakaya, you'll become a wish-fulfilling gem. And then through that, the power of wisdom, you manifest and help the sentient beings. And so this is the end of the
sana sem message chugu tosana sem yamaris oda ti tanda yishi jatu se ati chugu yishi jatu se ati ka bayin chiriti yishi jatu se ati chugu yishi jatu se doa tanda zawi chichi odi na sanji ge trotun kente zebare sena kui ani yishi jatu ti da genjeni yishi 이시구디기 다겐제네 아니 수분이데 주 아니 디두제 된자 브레스 제버바 저 상기가 살이 이시여버디 디두 브레스 제버레
rembuji dan de de sura jeren do wa de tanlo na ti de ne su
ti
rongjin So Rinpoche pointed out one important issue in the Tibetan philosophical or tenets debate. Some the opponents they argue once you attain full enlightenment, there is no mind. And then the Nagarjunas and other followers, like the follower of the consequential middle way, the Parasangika, and they argue that's not true. If you just say enlightenment equals no mind, then how the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas going to help you? What is the point for you to take refuge in Buddha if you think your Buddha has no mind? And then they use these last verses, saying in the last verses of the impress of the Dharmadhatu, it says that once you attain full enlightenment, you will be in the ocean of wisdom, meaning they're indicating there's a wisdom still there. And this ocean of wisdom, the Dharmakaya, manifest into tulku and other kind of bodies and help the sentient beings. And so, likewise, for the Mahayana followers, we do not believe that attaining full enlightenment equals no mind or no consciousness. In contrast, and we believe that attaining full enlightenment equals to really transform your entire being into wisdom. And we talked about its quality before, and this wisdom then manifests in different, forms and bodies to help the sentient beings. And Rinpoche said this commentary he's using by Rongdun is another great Sakya scholar. He's the Rongdun Shakya Singer, his name sorry, his name is Sheja Gunsik, not Shakya Singh, that's different. Rongdun Sheja Gunsik, who wrote the extensive commentaries on the impress of Dharmadhatu, from which Rinpoche is sometimes reading to provide us explanations. So as you can see, although in the translation it seems kind of beautiful, but if you go a little bit further, it has a totally much more profound meanings to each of these verses. That way you need a commentary to follow this text. So at this stage we have completed the impress of Dharmadhatu. We have a 10 minutes break, then we resume and start with the QA. And you better prepare with your questions. Okay. Shall we do the review? Rinpoche was thinking to do the refuge first and then start QA. And then some people have to leave sooner, so they wanted to do QA first. What do you prefer? Rinpoche okay, then we do QA first then. Okay, so we basically have okay. So we have a time. I'm just looking at the time until 4:30. So maybe we do Q&A for 20 to 30 minutes. Then we do another 30 minutes of refuge and bodhicitta. Is it okay? Okay, so go ahead. Can you speak a little bit loudly so the other colleagues can hear your question? So this is very useful.
Sure.
That's for everyone.
So this is going back to Friday evening, verse 59, where it's the section describing Dharmadhatu. And in particular, the one that I'm asking about are the last two lines. It says, it is that which makes it possible for life to persevere within all living beings. And I'm just wondering if Rinpoche could talk about what exactly that means, how Dharmadhatu does that.
Kurang chua di Tandikasa Sabasan Gwanda di 먼저 직접 납중가 구절봐. 디나야 다 최고 인기 인간다지게 윤된도서 봐 제시ገብ윤백급이야. 아니디 다간다지게 추인기 디저봐 윤된저봐. 디인도담바 디셰브기 시간 니부디 야우스라 하고도 손스 니부디 로위 상가지 이제 비유나야. 디날야 디리샤탄데 디응란조 티니 쿼르데 군게 릉신도 댐바스 저바 다 최근인도 쿼르데 니조로 릉신레스 딘데 치료 심전 강구 양바도 매베 개번 니체 대양 강게 송교르지 속전 남게 속내베스 또 그때 시대스 타고르스 또 어디지 다디조 디리샤는 진가란 쪽이 추인디 쿼르데 니그 릉신야 유여수만 저바 대는 너중가 구디 치료 심제 감기 양스 박도 매베 개버니 체양 관계 송교르지 석자남게 속내배서디 양가지 제시키노나스
디리다 취기인세의 샘던 신기 샘기란 신유세와디 샘던 신매버디 컨테 근기세 코는 주인들의 샘던 신기 어디와디 샘디 님문바다 님문배 온도 조인들 아니 레사는 코아코야디 시샘 그런 힘에 버디 때문에 레서기야 됐어 아니 샘디 취기인디 님문바다 샘님문바기 시원도 두두담바 취기인디 코알라 주베 시지기야 됐어 아니 샘지 가르스 그래 개와기 그래서 그래 님문바다 만제베 거네 아니 샘기 샘기 조제네 아니 조제 지두담바데 샘르 신기 메버디 냥엘리 데베 시지기야레스 냥데 토바지기야레스 갑가실리 냥데 토바지 코알은 주베네가서 코에 시지기야레 말함도 심제 코알은 주베네가서 코에 시제 되네 지 타바토비아 제도 아니 그나 샘기라 신문숨도 돈이 뒤수기 장주 샘바당 아니 가서 내줘버도 술래 양알레 데부터 저기 시지야레스 다 간제 샘랑 신기 그래서 신기 마주바 인사 답에 탑주야레스 답에 준대기는 남샤디 디되는 로그레스 코아 준대기 남샤디 샘랑 신기 메바디 되는 로그레스 다 건데 근시세들이
So basically in that verse it's talking about the quality of the Dharmadhatu, and that quality is the quality is exist in both samsara and in nirvana. And in another word, this Dharmadhatu really is the basis for both samsara and for liberation. So when we say Dharmadhatu, we have to think of it as a mind without the intrinsic nature. The mind which is not kind of a permanent or intrinsic, but rather that in kind of a realm of mind, which is lacking its own intrinsic nature. And that mind, in the samsara, when this mind is mixed with the afflictions, it creates causes for samsara. And again, the same basis of that mind without intrinsic nature, when it's engaged in practicing wisdoms, and then kind of this mind also is able to attain all the wisdoms, and that leads to nirvana or liberation. And so you shouldn't really stick to the verse line by line, especially in the translation, where sometimes the translation is kind of there. In this translation, it didn't really kind of go to the subtle meaning of the Dharmadhatu, but it's a kind of more literary translation here. And so it doesn't tell you a lot of things without further explanation. And so you should think of this as, in this verse, it's describing the quality of Dharmadhatu, saying the quality of the Dharmadhatu is pertain or maintain in all realms. In samsara, that the Dharmadhatu is still there, the mind, but it's still kind of stained by affliction. And when it's stained with affliction, what it do? It produces karma. And as a result, we, experience the corresponding consequences of that karma. And then when we engage the Dharmadhatu with wisdom, then we attain kind of a lot of other attainment, the wisdom attainment. As a result, this very, the mind is, helping us to attain nirvana. And in essence, the basis of our attainment and also the basis of our the sufferings in samsara is still basically played by this Dharmadhatu or the mind lacking intrinsic nature. And when we use the word in Tibetan chewing, which is Dharmadhatu, this is exists in among all sentient beings. That the basis of mind, which is lacking the intrinsic nature. And then how do we really use it? Plays the most important and decisive role for what we attain. Jisung. Next question? Sure.
In the word of my perfect teacher, it says about a person like holding the light in the hand. If giving teaching will be like giving the light to the other, and that person become dark. So, and another person like he is alive by himself. He teach a lot, but he's still bright. He don't become dark. Over here we have Bloomy 1, Bloomy 2, Bloomy 3. The Bloomy 3 name light giving. Is that the same with the person? I am the light myself. I can teach and I don't become dark.
Okay. 但谈的这观上面形容到听这里对就咱把这个年龄不是因为呢啊说是哪个了专门就因为呢甚至现那个我晒图的这边的下节看到这rangu了你云南那边呢现了到看到这云南的把金图的些那写出去都是第一个两个就谈的群这边那里他谈的这个群的什么这些那边个了他谈的4月吧10월에 와질이야 단도 월 초왔으니 사지도스 디나 월 초와데 가래서 나란도 탱기 름부시게 토마제 셰균도 좀월 초와서 좀 나란도 사 당군이 무슨 10일인도 좀봐 권유몬 다다간다 탐지 제배서 제배 강한도 봐 진짜지 인도 좀 이미는 한가주 파 연달려 다간다 심지어 연달을 뉴모 근데 세투를 나란도 엘레니엘 직 단도 데스 뉴모 다타라 근루질려 간다 지기 람정심 간봐 나란도 베드 람장 매주咱们先给gyū sēwa chēs, tā sēs chōr bā, tī kandē yindōs. Tī rā sēs nyā tā khuā kandē sī lēng kūrās. Tī rā bēl tānda sā sūmbara shibara jīla wēr chōwa. Shibari, wēr chōwa rā bā?
Chōwa sī tī sā shibara lē yindō tsambā, sā shibara lē yindō tsambā tōmbā pāng tsā rā rē. Anī gōmbā chīmbū kōr sūm pāng tsā rā rā bā. Tī rā pantsaba yinsa ani pambe yunde di ani duje shanli ya ji pendo jitu yaris rangi tomba pang tani ji yunde mambu ji nye derwa rangi yunde mambu nye derwa di duje shanla tenbe kone shi duje shanda yunde delang guba jinu yaris rangi yunde top derwa mambuji top derwa a yunde chazang ji matomna de matoba di denjiya de mebeje ani sa dambu de sa shibatu yunde pat mebeje top dere bena sa dambu de yunde gyara chungi se top dere sa nibala di dablore sumbala di dablore shibala di dablore wato su koneni
Yes, you're talking about the fourth bhumi, the radiant bhumi. What is the translation here?
The light giving, the number 3.
Number 3, and number 4 also is called.
Because the number 4 belongs to the medium group. that person is half circle, but the number 3 belongs to the big group. That is called. That person doesn't have circle yet.
Ale quando di lam sumbude yangaji sunronas tande di nganzo lam sumbujorba tande sa tangode sa sumbujorba wecheba dele dagde simje endalya
내려봐봐. 근데 뭐 톱차려 봐. 뒤거는 된지 투야리. 탑중 뒤주고 저 대제반에 가인시야 뒤지. 랑게 마신에 뒤에 말봐. 랑게 시 간시버디 신달라니. 랑게 인데 시버디 신달 펜도 자고 그 야리 자여 버리스.
Yes. You're talking about the verse 80, the third bhumi, the illuminating bhumi and so on. And I also, because you mentioned earlier radiant, I also asked Rinpoche the 4. But Rinpoche said yes, you can benefit and help countless sentient beings while you're in the different bhumis. For example, according to scripture, by the time you reach to the first bhumi, you already attend to so many qualities. And in one scripture it says, when you attend the first bhumi itself, you already attend the 12,000 unique qualities. And these qualities, can really help you, even the first bhumi, to help counter sentient beings. Then by the time you reach to the third and fourth, you already reach to the path of meditation, and you have started the path. And when you reach to the path of meditation, you know what are the qualities you already received, you already reached to. And when you think of these qualities, surely you are, already well equipped to help the sentient beings. Yes, I understand that you have not reached to the most subtle level of abandoning affliction and their causes, but still, by the time you reach to, according to the Mahayana path, the path of meditation is already quite, advanced path. Because you already done the part of preparation and part of an application, right? And when you already pass that 2 paths, you already gone quite considerable. So you should think from the third path, you already reached to the path of meditation, and you already attend so many qualities. You're in a kind of a quite, powerful position to help the other sentient beings. Next question.
What is the Tathagata Garbha in relation to all of this?
The Buddha nature, Tathagata Garbha, right? Buddha nature. That is your Tananga Chuin Devas nature. The Chuin Devata Tatanda this Sorba, Tandakare Tadaba Garbas and Deshinimbu. Denini Padla Joa Carriores.
Deshinimbu is the regular cigarette, Chuin, so Chuin, Chuin. Deshinimbu in Deshinimbu Siati. Come to worship a cigarette, comes in a rig cigarettes. Chu Jing said the Riginani Rig Chashires. Ranshine racing it. Rig the king, you could read Ranshine racing Yarba. Digitum Kukula Rig Kunala Disgare. Deshinimbu Carresena.
Deshinimbu the Chicha. Chuin the Chitar.
Chidari. Deshinimbu said the Kunyam's number Letani. Sanje Gita Kovan to Jigging and Sabitat was this. That Rixignitri. Nimbu said the Carresena. Sanje to Shitar to Baravtitas, reading. Arandu Gewasa Chichi Chikoyati, Marandul Rikti. Sanji Jurung Di Sani, Gevasaya, the Papoyati, Chegoyati de Tueri. The rig may be in any Beijing Chiku Mevrata. Beijing Jenny, Sanji Jurung di Mena, Beijing Jenny, Sanji Kovantu to Marva. That is in Busia, the worship of Tuji. Rigam Sabi to hit her to Batilla, the Shishing standard, the Chuging, said that the Chitajre.
The relationship between Tathagata sometimes is translated as the Buddha essence or Buddha nature, and the Dharmadhatu is in most kind of simple way to describe it is the Buddha nature is the general, and then Dharmadhatu is the one of the subdivisions of that. If you say section, so Buddha essence or Buddha nature is the overall qualities, and Dharmadhatu is in one of the sect or one of the kind of that, and so Tathagata it basically talks about that. The ultimate attainment that we all aspire to, which is the Buddha nature. We wanted to become the Buddha nature. And then that's kind of the general. And then in the Dharmadhatu is saying we have the seed to attain Buddha nature because we have this Dharmadhatu. Dharmadhatu is one of the kind of potential seeds, or sometimes it's defined as a lineage or kind. Dharmadhatu is sometimes described in a different context with a different term to really suit it for different school of thought. When you describe, in certain tantric explanation, it's also use different word. And in Rinpoche said, in the most kind of simple way to know is you have a Buddha essence, Tathagata, and then under Tathagata there are two major kind. The rig is in Tibetan that we belong to the same kind. So if we didn't have the seed for Buddhahood, we cannot attain Buddhahood, right? So Dharmadhatu is the seed, and when we really cultivate with other conditions, then we fulfill that into Buddha or Buddha nature. And so Nagarjuna is, talking about the Dharmadhatu to argue that we all have the potential to attain enlightenment because we have the essence of Buddha within ourselves. Because why? We have the same mind as the Buddhas and all Bodhisattvas do. But it's the differences between them is our current mind is stained with affliction. And then he talks about the Gengyugu Rig and Negyugu Rig. I said if you observe very carefully, if you really investigate very subtly and single-pointedly, in that mind, there are two elements in that mind. One is this kind of mind. The mind has again this word, the potential for transformation. This is one of the nature of that mind is the word I wanted to use, adjective for transformation, transformable, or what is it? Transformative. So meaning that the mind is changeable. Right? And we, through practicing the generosities, maybe from the first to the fifth generosities, we can transform that mind from becoming tight to soft, from being stingy to most generous. One thing, you can trace that mind as part of that. And another part of the Dharmadhatu is that mind, it can realize wisdoms. It can, really kind of change from ignorant to full awakening through practices. And when you combine the two practices and we attain full enlightenment, And so the full enlightenment and also the nature of the Buddha, the Tathagata, like a Buddha nature. So the Buddha nature is a big picture, and the Dharmadhatu is in one of that, a nature in that. Is that clearer? So Buddha nature or Tathagata as a general, Dharmadhatu is one sect or one kind in that. Maybe we have time for one or two more questions, and then we...
That?
No.
Can we ask, you already took a question, so can I ask Laurie now, your question? Because we already took a question from the lady, so just wanted to make everyone has a...
My question was just, when Rinpoche explained about the 10 perfections, so the first 6, of course, are explained in many places, like Shantideva. But the last 4, I was wondering if you could just briefly describe what they... We get the words, but what each one means.
Okay. 지당 안도디 파르침바 꼴야 셰인도 잠바 퍼진 투저바 디 안에 수 망보날야다 과야 여바 퍼진 투 시제다 지당 용다르 차데여바 다데네 rumbuji 계서 먼저 퍼진 주도 자제 송송 퍼진 투부 간 근도 퍼진 주 송바 아니 시부디 넘기시라 과야 여마다 퍼진 주스냐 지당 셰스데 뉴뉴르바 딘디 퍼진 시부저바 파르마 시부지 디 과데보 지제 dorduci sono nas ti kar kez ti diga relational songs dele tane ko perjin so cheba jorba so da go ba so re ti perjin trobudo sevsira dus
that perjin sa dumbarin du sa dumbene go su tabge perjin tobraba
tabge perjin che
ani sa jeve go su manam chiparjinje su sa kuve kapsu to chiparjinje na sa kuve kapsu yishi parjinje ba
shi
ada di tap tigeti parjinje budita tabge sedeta chitan satyumbane ta tabge sedeta chitan tabda hiramni buti sungtu deve kone zo nyamsunamyati satyubale hiragi paji nyamnet habatu tabarba tatine ya tabda hiramni sungtu jube 파진 냠네 하바토에 인사다 탑게 세르지제
탑게서 지나야 시럽다 탑시 송지
탑시 송지 세르지제 다단데 디나는 그래도
First, let me just translate what Rinpoche just said. Yes, so we talk about 6 perfections, then 10 perfections. 6 perfections common to you is from generosity to the wisdom. And then the 7th is the skillful perfection, the perfection of skillful means. And that is because now you attain the wisdom perfection. And for the 7th one, you combine the method and wisdom together. And you engage in practices. And then you become quite skillful. You're not just merely depending on wisdom or on method. You're now combining it. You become very skillful practitioner. So it's called the skillful means, the perfection of a skillful means. Could have other translations. So that's the 7th bhumi. Then the 8th bhumi is the perfection of a prayer or aspiration. And then the 9th is the perfection of a power. The 9th bhumi is perfection of power. The 10th bhumi is again perfection of wisdom. So I was saying, they're two. Then Rinpoche is going to maybe provide further explanations. 다단데 디 탑게도 좀 봐. 몰롬기 디디셰스 나로나 몰롬기 파진스 줘봐. 디가랑 아주 몰롬 겹스고를 다 디나 고직 독지도 가르래 고바도 가르래
파파지 두기 깨자럽디 아니 조장능을 뭐 켜버치는지 내가 저버집에 몰롬기 장바당 쓰고 파주 다 되네 파지 담봉하다 집에 시럽디 신주기 겨 왜 탑기와 탐제도 신주를 줘버집에 몰롬 장바당 쓰고 다디 파지 주디다 파지 주기 냠네디 톱자를 봐. 톱에서 신주기 겨왕무에 탑 겨와 탐제도 친루라 줘버집에 몰롬 장바당스. 다 겨와는
몰롬 겨디요. 파진 개백을 몰롬 겨지.
네. 겨와는 지려 탐제도 파지 주라 줘버집에 몰롬 겨야 지야를 봐. 근데 몰롬 파지 있어지.
Today is Lelhabdo. So the eighth bhumi, the perfection of a prayer or perfection of aspiration, is basically you have earned or you have gathered incredible amount of merit by engaging in the practices of the six perfections, right? You already have engaged in the practices, you have attained a lot of qualities, and because of that you have a lot of merit. And so in the eighth bhumi, what you do is you really dedicate these merits for the further attaining further qualities. So in the eighth bhumi, you constantly engaging in a prayer and dedicating whatever the great merits that you have earned so far by engaging in the practices of the six perfections, and really kind of dedicate them for further the qualities. And so that is the kind of job of the eighth bhumi. And then I joked to Rinpoche saying, it seems the eighth bhumi is quite easy, just engaging in a prayer. And he said, yes. So then the sad gave the molom skip it there.